Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is our top of the hour break. And we'll be live in just a few minutes. Hey, guys. Oh, man.
You've seen the ads on TV.
All right, it's almost time to go. We're going to obviously talk about a lot today, but going to start with the events from yesterday, the shooting, of course.
Get one for free, but you have to use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com.
Welcome, everyone.
Incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to mypillow.com right now. Use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Let me just move the camera here.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983.
I was up a little late last night for me.
It's in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
The new
Here we go.
5.3 and 96.9 is here.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music.
WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station.
I love these people.
Now, celebrating 45 years. It's the longest running radio show in Florida.
We are on the air.
The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. And, of course, you are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. We got a lot to talk about today, and, of course, we're going to talk about what happened in Highland Park. You know, I was reading this morning in Chicago, not Highland Park, Chicago. I know the difference between the two. 60 were shot over the 4th of July weekend in Chicago, and 15 fatalities as of now. That's in Chicago. So why is Chicago not getting the publicity? Why is Chicago not getting the national media on site covering these? You know, the difference between that, the only difference I can think of, but both are tragedies, don't misunderstand me. But why is there national coverage of Highland Park but not Chicago? I noticed on Fox News Channel they had Jeffrey Toobin in there. Now, Jeffrey Toobin, did they fly him into Chicago to cover that? They had him there pretty quick. CNN live on the scene, on the streets, interviewing witnesses. You know, CNN, they interviewed a girl who was there and saw someone lose their life in Highland Park. And they asked her what the gunshots sounded like, and she was a little more specific about the type of weapon. She says, I know what gunshots sound like. I've been to Chicago. So why, both tragedies, why does the national media fly reporters in, like Jeffrey Toobin probably flew in on a private jet? Why do they fly in for Highland Park, but they're not covering Chicago? The only difference I can see is the racial makeup of not just the shooter, but the victims as well. And, you know, that's it. I mean, what's the difference between the two? Everyone so far out of Highland Park is white, although the one grandfather sadly traveled from Mexico. So is he Hispanic or is he a white guy that's retired in Mexico? A lot of Americans do that. But the deaths in Chicago, I mean, I think it's safe to assume are mostly African American and Hispanic, probably mostly African American. And the mainstream corporate media just don't seem that's worth sending reporters in or even covering it. And all this talk of systemic racism, the racism is from the media, projected from the left. And all of us are opposed to gun violence. Yesterday I see the mayors, this mayor in Philadelphia. I'm going to play all the audio. The mayor of Philadelphia, where they had an incident with police. The governor of Illinois. They're all talking about gun control, doing away with our Second Amendment. One of them said that only police officers should have guns. Listen, this country is a gun culture. That's just the way it is. Get used to it. And the talk of gun control is, anytime there's an incident like this, what the Democrats are going to do. They're going to go for gun control. That's what they do. It's like clockwork. But there's no solution that they're dealing with, okay? There's no solution that they're dealing with. If the American people, including the NRA, and every gun owner in America that's a legal gun owner said, okay, we are no longer going to have guns. We're going to turn all of our guns in. And we did that. And every gun in America that was owned legally and illegally was confiscated and destroyed. The 3D printing technology would be printing guns like crazy, like during the days of Prohibition with the alcohol. It would just be 3D printed guns, and the technology for 3D printed guns would advance light years overnight. So it's a ridiculous discussion. People are always looking for a reason why this happened, why that happened, what could have been done to stop this, and there's really not an answer. We still don't have information on what guns were used in Highland Park and how did he get the guns and all of that. We still don't have answers on all of that. But I'm surprised that we don't already. I know his uncle was interviewed and said that as far as he knew, he didn't own guns. I don't know. We'll get the details on that coming up. But the increase in school shootings and mass shootings that they tell us about all the time, I'm not sure if there's an increase or not. I know there's an increase in media, and there's a lot more media than we used to have, the 24-hour news cycle. So I don't know if there's more gun violence today than there was, say, 50 or 60 years ago. I really don't know, because even when I was a kid growing up, you didn't get live reports like this. You might get footage the next day, sometimes even 2 days later. You didn't have live footage, especially in high definition. We didn't even know what that was, on people's cell phones. There's so much media now. It used to be you had your local news at 5 and 5:30, and then you had the network news, which is like 20-something minutes without spots, without commercials, at 6:30, and that was it in your newspapers. And when there was an incident, like if an incident like this happened in 1972 as opposed to 2022, it would be covered, but it wouldn't be covered like this because they didn't have the technology to do so. And I think a lot of times there seems to be an increase in things that there's not an increase in because we have such instant media reporting. Same thing goes with the weather. They like to tell us there's more bad weather for their climate change racket they got going. There's not an increase in bad weather. There's just an increase in the ability to see and report things that you couldn't see before. If there's a storm in Tahiti, you can see it live right now in 4K high definition, maybe even 5K on television. So I don't necessarily think there's more of these things going on. I just think there's more media showing us things that we wouldn't have seen. You may have heard about it and you may not have thought much about it. Does that make sense? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Is there really an increase in gun violence in this country? And if there is, why is that? A lot of people talk about mental illness. I don't know. I think most everyone who's a violent criminal and takes someone's life has mental issues. Unless there's like a rage thing that goes on. And anyone who does a premeditated killing of any kind has a mental problem. That's not new. That's not why. If there's an increase as to why, there's a couple reasons why. I would blame the media, right, for showing these things. I would blame the video games. You know, the video game industry, first-person shooters. You know, the video game industry is bigger than Hollywood. I want you to think about that. It's bigger than Hollywood, money-wise. You know, and that certainly plays a role too. There's no doubt about it. So, you know, you factor all these things in, and here we are in this great country. We have great constitutional rights, constitutional guarantees, and immediately some lunatic does a terrible thing, and Democrats come out of the woodwork and want to take away all of our rights, all of our liberties that people for 240 some odd years have fought for. Some of them died for. Right? That's it. And you know, you're not going to let some lunatic with tattoos on his face take away amendments of the Constitution. I think that's ridiculous. That's absurd. You know what? And most people do too. But Democrats like government control. They got and part of the problem is the COVID lockdowns and shutdowns. Liberals got a taste of what they really wanted without any legislation, power over people's lives. And the Democrats enjoy that. I told you when the lockdowns and shutdowns came in, I told you the Democrats, they love this. The government, when they take your liberty away, they're not so quick to give it back. And you see at every turn, the left, they just can't wait. They just want to do something to take more of your rights away because they got a taste of that during the COVID period. Now listen, callers on hold, stand by. There is only one opening on our very busy board. We're going to take our break. When we get back from the break, I'm going to go right to the phone calls. There's one opening at 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show. That's right, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Don't forget, you can watch me live on YouTube, streaming live on YouTube. Find me on YouTube. Just search for Brian Craig on YouTube. We have a very, well, sometimes overly opinionated chat room on YouTube, but there's a great community there with a live chat room going on my YouTube channel during the program. So just go to YouTube, search Brian Craig, and you don't have to participate in the chat room, but you can watch it at least. I think you'll enjoy it. We'll be right back after this.
The longest running radio show in the state of Florida. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Women, you know menopause is no fun, but there is help available for your menopause symptoms with Dr. Mitch Matez at the BioStation West El Rey. Hormone replacement pellet therapy will 100% stop and reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. Mood swings gone.
All right.
Night sweats gone.
Steve Kane Show.
Reversed. You'll get your sex
Hold on.
drive back
Hold on.
too. Call
Steve Kane Show.
Matez for a free consultation. 561-320-8893.
Hold on. Steve Kane Show.
561-320-8893.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642.
I was up a little late last night because I went out to the fireworks.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire.
Yeah, if you guys go to my community page on YouTube, I took a picture with my daughter during the fireworks last night.
I have
Our new radio station company sponsored the fireworks last night, the city fireworks.
At very low prices. Give me a call.
It was a lot of fun.
My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires.
Trump.
Again, my number is 954-977-9445.
Yeah, my daughter got me this shirt. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow.
Yeah, that picture was taken like in complete darkness with the fireworks. That iPhone camera. I don't have the 13. I have the 12 still.
Buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Now, if you've gotten calls from me early this morning, any of my friends and family, if you've gotten calls early this morning from me or last night, that was butt dialing. I got to tell you, I was butt dialing people like nobody's business. This morning and last night, I looked, but it gets kind of embarrassing actually. Especially one of the butt dials that was 9 minutes long. Oh my goodness. I don't know what I was talking about in those 9 minutes that they overheard, but welcome back everyone. I'm Brian. It is the day after the 4th of July, July 5th. We're talking about what happened in Highland Park yesterday. Why the media are not covering the 60 shot and 15 dead in the city of Chicago, but they're covering Highland Park. Why do you think? The only difference I can see is the racial component to it. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Brian. I'm in my 18-wheeler somewhere in the Panhandle of Texas. I don't know where.
Oh boy. Okay.
From Louisiana. My sister Teresa got me to start listening to you, so I thought I'd call in.
Well, thank your sister.
Teresa.
Yeah, thank her for turning you on to the program.
Yeah, she's listening right now. So, well, I want to say I go to Chicago a lot, and I think
CB Radio Ghost Talk.
I think a couple weeks ago,
everyone thanks CB Radio.
Got murdered from a
Thank
drive-by.
You so much. Oh boy.
Yeah, and the only people that covered that was the local news. No mainstream media, nothing. Because when I seen that on YouTube, that mass shooting on YouTube, I thought it was just another drive-by. So no. When I seen the governor on there and all the mainstream media covering, I said,
Well, the media has been weaponized. The media has an agenda, destroy Republicans, in particular MAGA. And the main reason that this shooter in Highland Park is getting all the coverage is he's white. They like white shooters. Look at that. After the Rittenhouse verdict, look at the Christmas parade massacre, right? Black guy ran people over on purpose, and that disappeared in a heartbeat. Same thing with the guy that shot Steve Scalise and tried to assassinate the entire Republican baseball team. When that was a white guy but a leftist, and that's it. They're trying to turn this guy in Highland Park into a MAGA guy, which is not true.
Yeah, they try to make him look like a Trump supporter. Trump supporters don't look like that anyway, first of all.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. They got a picture of him at a Trump rally with some of his loser friends. And when his name was released, before they captured him, when his name was released by the police, I did what everybody else did. I went and Googled it. And his social media accounts had already been taken down. But his YouTube was up there, which was pretty disturbing. And on Twitter, people had snagged pictures from his social media before they were taken down. I saw a photograph of him wearing, it was either an Antifa hat or an Antifa headband. The guy was Antifa. And the reason he was at the Trump rally, a lot of Antifa go to Trump rallies to cause mayhem. The guy was Antifa. And that is not being reported in any of these news outlets. They're reporting him as a Trump guy, which is not true. He's Antifa.
So, yeah, I thought I'd call in.
Well, glad you did.
And then give her a shout out on the radio.
Well, you gave her a shout out. All right, hey, listen, take care. Drive safe, even though you're lost, all right? Take care. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Louisiana.
Hey, man. Hey, I got a quick question. Why, when you put me on hold, normally you play commercials, I can hear the commercials, and since y'all went to the new format, I don't hear the commercials anymore.
Well, because there's a lot of engineering work in progress. Yeah, because the commercials, before the changeover, I played the commercials myself in the studio. Now we got a guy playing the commercials down the hall. So what you hear on hold is my audio, which does not include the commercials since I'm not playing them here.
Okay. The situation what happened in Highland Park, and you say the guy was Antifa, they say the guy...
No, I didn't say he was Antifa. He said he was Antifa on social media. Well, I said it, but no, the shooter in Highland Park had a photograph of himself wearing an Antifa hat. Okay.
And then you said he was at a Trump rally, so make it MAGA. But I don't care whatever he was. He's a sorry human being, and And the caller before me said MAGA people don't look like that. How you know what MAGA people look like? MAGA people come in all forms.
No, MAGA people don't have young men typically with tattoos on their face. Oh, okay, all right. This kid, let me tell you, this monster. I shouldn't call him a kid, even though he's young, right? This monster, Crimo. He's Antifa. He had pictures of himself in Antifa garb on his social media. The photograph they have of him at a Trump rally, he's not wearing Trump gear. He's actually with some young loser friends of his carrying Biden signs that they wrote some things on. He's not in Trump gear. No MAGA hat or anything.
Be MAGA, bro.
MAGA people wear Trump gear, and MAGA people wear Trump gear at Trump rallies, and they don't wear Antifa hats.
It doesn't make a difference whether he's MAGA or not. He's still a sorry son of a...
No, it does make a difference because the media, well, let me tell you why. I know you're in a panic about this, but the media, no, listen, the conversation will continue with or without you. You gotta take turns. You just can't keep talking, okay? Listen, the media are portraying him as a conservative, as a Trump supporter. I've seen Trump supporter and his name in media accounts in news stories this morning. He is not a Trump supporter. He's Antifa.
So if he was a Trump supporter, so what? I mean,
well, because what they're doing because the media and the Democrats are trying to portray Trump supporters as domestic terrorists, and this feeds into their narrative. That's why they're selectively not sharing that he's Antifa.
Maybe I'm not saying all of them are. Maybe some of them are.
Well, this guy is not. No, this guy is not MAGA.
Maybe some of them are. And I like the color of your sweater, but I don't like the name of it. But I love the color of your sweater this morning. I love blue, baby. Blue up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Take care. Louisiana has nothing to say, nothing to contribute. All right. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
3 calls from Louisiana today in a row.
Yeah, you really are, you know, and that's the thing. Now, you got to ask yourself, you ask the question, why mayors are what?
Yeah.
And they don't want to do anything that makes a Democrat look bad, even though somebody like Lori Lightfoot, or as I call her, Mayor Beetlejuice, doesn't need the help.
Well, they got a narrative. White man bad, MAGA dangerous, MAGA are domestic terrorists. And they're going to use this, you know, like when I found this Highland Park shooter in the Antifa hat, I didn't do any investigating. I just put his name into Google and on Twitter, and pictures came up. And second or third picture was him in an Antifa hat. And if you look at that picture of him at the Trump rally with his friends, he's not wearing a MAGA hat. He's not wearing a Trump shirt. He's holding Biden signs.
This guy is telling you who he is.
That's right. That's right. Hey, listen, I gotta run for our break, but thanks so much for the call, Mike from Louisiana. I don't know why this show's so I mean, I understand why this show's popular, but in Louisiana, the word is out in the swamps of Louisiana to listen to this program. My name's Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. We'll be back with your calls, and I also got some audio sound bites, and there's other stories to talk about, too. Back after this. Now you'll see. Steve Kane Show. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Because of the delay. See, I'm still talking. We'll be back with your calls. And I also got some audio sound bites, and there's other stories to talk about, too. Back after this.
They're always politically correct, but the snowflakes still disagree. Find out why right here on The Steve Kane Show, mornings 6 to 9. Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community. Have a laugh with some funny memes. And keep in touch with other good time Oldies lovers. Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida.
Am I distorted, my mic?
Yeah, you're a little. Oldies weather forecast.
I'll turn it down just a little.
WPBS 25 First Morning Weather Center. This is meteorologist Brooke Silvering. We're going to see temperatures once again in the upper 80s, but keep your umbrella around. A few passing showers rolling in from the Atlantic. Possible as we go throughout your afternoon hours for today, even into the evening, we could have a few lingering showers.
True Oldies. Traffic check.
In Palm Beach Gardens, I-95 North on ramp from Donald Ross Road. The left shoulder is blocked by a multi-vehicle crash, but so far there is no delay on the approach. I-95 and the Turnpike are still moving well in between Boca Raton and Jupiter, and the service streets are also crash-free. I-95 southbound after lane 10 on the right shoulder is blocked by a disabled vehicle. This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies. Dell's Black Friday and July sale is here with up to 45% off top-rated laptops and desktops for business-friendly Intel Core processors. Plus, save on monitors and accessories, all free with shipping. Special financing available with Dell Business Credit. Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
This is Steve Kane. We are here this morning with William Youngerman from William Youngerman, Inc. for our gold report. William, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Be right back, guys.
Wanted to ask you the big question, the big one that everyone wants to know. With gold, when's a good time to buy, and when do you sell?
Okay, that's and the question. The answer to the question, when do you sell, is really goes back to why did you buy it in the first place? When the reason you bought it is fulfilled, it's time to sell. Or when the reason that you bought it no longer exists, it's time to sell. In 1980, gold hit a high of $850, and people had bought gold all the way up to that level. And at that time, the reason to own gold changed dramatically because we had 25% interest rates all of a sudden. The government said we will stop inflation no matter what, and they did so with very high interest rates. That reason for owning gold then changed, and we dramatically told our customers in the 1980s, sell your gold, sell. It's finished for the time being, okay? That was a reason. Now, some people held on because they said, no, I want this as my insurance policy. Insurance policy, you don't necessarily buy and sell your life insurance policies. You have it for a particular reason. And some of your money should always be in gold, regardless of what the price is doing. Historically, we've always said at least 5%. At this particular time, we recommend much higher percentage of our assets being gold, silver, and platinum. So the reason for buying it will determine when to sell it. If that reason changes or is fulfilled, that's the time to sell it. But it must go along with the fact that you understand that gold is the only real money in the world. It is the only thing that has no IOU attached to it. It is an insurance policy, and it is a hedge against inflation, and it's the only real money that will maintain its buying power for you in the long term.
Okay, well that answers that question. If the question
I'm just
is
switching mics.
Where, well, I can tell you where. William Youngerman, Inc., located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. You can drop by. It's in the Bank of America building, right on the first floor, opposite the Bank of America. You can call William at 1-800-327-5010 or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about My Pillow. My Pillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own.
I just changed mics.
MyPillow.com. When you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one My Pillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one My Pillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954
5 a.m. is a best stuff from the day before. We go live
Thank
from
you.
6 till 9.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show, celebrating
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. All right, we're talking about all the events, these terrible events that happened in Highland Park yesterday, and taking your calls on them. And, there's a great article in Breitbart. The liberals in the media, what are they doing? They're talking about taking away our Second Amendment. Hey, why not the First Amendment? Why not all the amendments? Right? I mean, if you think about it, the Democrats think all the amendments get in their way. They don't like the First Amendment any better than they like the Second Amendment. But, they're talking about all these different laws that they want. Listen to this. They got all of them in Highland Park. Listen to this. This is in Breitbart. A red flag law, a waiting period for gun purchases, licensing requirements, and numerous other gun control measures did not prevent the Highland Park attack. That's right, it didn't. None of it did, actually. Mike Bloomberg's Every Town for Gun Safety lists Illinois as the state with the 6th most strict gun laws in the country. Really? 60 shot in Chicago, 15 dead. Plus Highland Park. Gabby Gifford's gun control group gives Illinois an A- on gun control. Illinois has a red flag law, a waiting period for gun purchases, gun owner licensing, domestic violence gun laws, open carry regulations, and numerous other gun controls. The gun owner licensing is done via firearm owner's identification cards. Only those with a firearm owner's identification card can legally buy and possess a gun in Illinois. And the process for acquiring a card includes a background check. The state police in Illinois listed the process of buying a gun legally in Illinois. Now, of course, you just go to Chicago, and apparently they, no requirement, no age, nothing, they'll just sell them to you. But there's a long list of things that I'm not even going to go through to get to get a gun in Illinois. Cook County has an assault weapons ban. They also have a ban on high-capacity magazines. And neighboring Lake County, where the city of Highland Park is located, has an assault weapons ban. And there's also a large-capacity magazine ban in Highland Park. In December 2015, the Chicago Tribune reported that the Supreme Court refused to hear a challenge against Highland Park's assault weapons ban. The Tribune described SCOTUS's refusal to hear the challenge as a blow to the NRA and other pro-life or pro-gun activists. You know, pretty much every single gun control fantasy that the Democrats talk about when there's one of these terrible incidents, they have in Illinois. And they even have stricter controls in Highland Park than they have just in the state in general. And, you know, it's the old argument. It's the old argument, right? Outlaws don't obey the laws. People that break the law don't care what the laws are. And these discussions, these endless discussions about gun control, I've been doing this for years. The Democrats always have the same arguments. You know, Biden came out yesterday, and of course, we got to do something about this. The guy has been in Washington since Nixon was in office, since '73. Name a mass shooting that occurred before Biden went to Washington. Probably, he may be able to do a Google search and find something, but think about it. Every mass shooting that you know of happened during the time that Joe Biden was a powerful member of either the Senate or the White House like he is now, or when he was vice president. What did Joe Biden do during his 50 years in D.C. that stopped a single incident of gun violence? See, Democrats, this is the big secret about Democrats. Democrats don't want to solve anything. That goes for the Republican establishment too, by the way. They don't want to solve anything. They want to have these issues over your head. They always promise to do something about them, but they never accomplish it. Look what President Trump did, right? He overturned Roe v. Wade. There have been many other conservative presidents, including George W. Bush, who talked about overturning Roe v. Wade. But they never really had an intention of overturning Roe v. Wade. I remember when President Trump was running for president the first time in 2015, the Republican Party made this big deal about making him sign on to the Republican Party platform. And of course he did it because he supported the Republican Party platform. But President Trump did something that the Republicans never dreamed that he would do. He took the Republican Party platform, President Trump, and made it a checklist. And he did it. Boom, boom, boom. They don't want to accomplish the Republican Party platform. Don't you get it? And the Democrats don't want to fix any of these issues. Immigration, gun control. They want these issues so they have something to gripe about. They claim to have the solutions. You've got to support and vote for them for the solutions, and then when they get in power, they don't do anything about it. And the reason they don't do anything about it is because if they do something and they fix these issues, then who's going to go to them for help? You're never going to be able to pass a law of any kind that is going to stop killers. But there are things you can do to stop incidents like what's going on in Chicago all the time. And they don't want to do any of those. For example, offer a reward, no questions asked, like Crime Stoppers, for anyone that reports someone that leads to an arrest that has an illegal firearm on their person. Not a gun buyback program, but rat your friends out. $5,000. Seems cheaper than the ER bill for the gunshot wounds from their victims, doesn't it? Stop and frisk like Mayor Giuliani had in New York. People forget, New York used to be worse than it is now. And then Giuliani came in and cleaned it up. It can be done, but the Democrats don't want to clean anything up. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. I'm actually calling to see which station can I pick you guys up on iHeartRadio? Because right now, at 95.3, they're playing oldies.
No, they're not playing oldies right now. They're playing us. If you put us on now, we're now on from 5 until 9, Monday through Friday. I'll turn it on during the break and check it out. I'll listen during the break. I'll look into it.
Okay.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, other callers on hold. Stand by. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's our number. So let me get to some of the audio. Callers on hold. Stand by. Hey, listen, the format change just happened yesterday, and there's going to be growing pains, okay, guys? That's how it is. Believe me, everyone is on top of everything, but I'll check out what's going on iHeart, don't worry. All right, so let me get to some of the audio, though. Let me see. Do I have time? Yeah, I got time for some of this. This is a story from the local news in Highland Park covering the shooter. Listen to this. This guy's a real piece of work.
Crimo was unemployed. He'd been living in a house in Highwood with his father and his uncle. This evening, there were multiple FBI agents and law enforcement officers in tactical gear around that house, some interviewing neighbors. According to his uncle, Crimo had lived in his own basement unit in that duplex, making videos that he posted to social media and working to build a career as a rapper. His uncle tells me Crimo had never made any threats or alarming statements, at least to family members, indicating that he might be planning or considering a mass shooting. And his uncle tells me, as far as he knew, Crimo did not own a gun. Crimo comes from a prominent Highland Park family. His dad, Robert II, owned some food pantries in town, ran for mayor here a few years ago, a race that he lost to Highland Park's current mayor. This evening, the suspect's uncle, Paul Crimo, reached out to us to talk about the tragedy and to send a message to the community.
I just want to say I'm deeply, deeply sorry for everyone that lost their lives and got injured. From the bottom of my heart, I'm heartbroken, and my heart is shattered to hear this, and I can't even believe it, and I just want to express my deeply sorry and my condolences to everybody. Me and my brother were very well known in Ravinia, Highland Park, and we have a good character. Everybody loves us, and this is just, it breaks my heart to even hear about all this.
And as we continue to dig into insight as to what caused this shooting, we also talked today to the father of some high school students who were classmates of Crimo.
All right, well, I'll get to that in a little bit. But, there's the uncle, and, you got to ask yourself, we don't know how many guns he had. They found a rifle that they've not told us what kind of rifle it is. How does a kid like this get a weapon like that, live at home with this guy, his uncle and his dad, and they don't know about it? I'll tell you how. He was down in the basement, and they're checked out. There is no way that my daughter could have a gun of any kind in the house without me knowing it. You've got parents that are checked out. They got him in the basement, probably down there watching porn all day and playing video games. That's it. And a rifle like that costs some money. How did an unemployed kid scrape together enough money to get the rifle? Well, we'll find out. Now, after the break, I'll go back to the calls. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Those of you on hold, stand by. We will go to the phones after the break. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, and we'll be back.
Leave the politics to us. Start your day the Steve Kane way. Cold.
Steve Kane Show.
Facts.
Yes.
Morning 6 to 9 with Brian Craig.
Are you feeling over the hill? Tired? Sluggish?
Okay, hold on.
Just not feeling yourself? There is help. If you want to look and feel like you did when you were young, call Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West El Rey and talk to him about hormone replacement pellet therapy. Take it from me. I'm a patient. It works. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893. And make sure to tell him you heard about him on the radio. Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness? We'll go to the phones after the break. Or tingling in your
That guy's wrong. It's got this show on iHeart. I just pulled it up.
Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your
I don't know what that guy's talking about.
No feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642.
I tell you, people are always up to something.
To your neuropathy symptoms, 754-222-6642. A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University.
People are always looking to cause trouble.
Corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009.
I've not gotten used to not playing the commercials.
No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number toll free, as always, 1-888-GO-KANE. 1-888-465-2631. A toll-free call from anywhere. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Once. Twice. All right. There we go. All right, the rest of you on hold. I think I might have to do some screening today. The liberals are a little restless this morning. I don't know what it's about. I get, well, you know, it's because they're losing on everything. I mean, that's basically what it is. If you want to call in on the Highland Park incident, you certainly are welcome. I'm going to finish up this segment talking about it, but then I'm going to move on to some other things. But you're always welcome to call in about anything we bring up as the show goes on. This is the governor of Illinois yesterday. Very bad taste, getting very political right out of the box. This guy couldn't wait to get political. The governor of Illinois, of course, is a Democrat.
If you're angry today, I'm here to tell you, be angry. I'm furious. I'm furious that yet more innocent lives were taken by gun violence. I'm furious that their loved ones are forever broken by what took place today. I'm furious that children and their families have been traumatized. I'm furious that this is happening in communities all across Illinois and America. I'm furious because...
You know, I got to tell you, these Democrats, he's got this catchphrase speech. You know, this governor thinks this is like his big moment, and he's got the I'm furious speech going on. He's trying to have a thing here.
This way. And yet we as a nation, well, we continue to allow this to happen. While we celebrate the 4th of July just once a year, mass shootings have become our weekly, yes, weekly.
I love it how he's got the dramatic pause, comma, yes, weekly. This guy, I mean, here are people that are dealing with some terrible things in his state. And he spent the time to put in dramatic pauses and come up with this I'm furious catchphrase, comma, pause, repeat, yes, weekly.
American tradition. There are going to be people who say that today is not the day, that now is not the time to talk about guns. I'm telling you, there is no better day and no better time than right here and right now. It's the 4th of July, a day for reflection on our freedoms. Our founders...
We're not reflecting on our freedoms. We're celebrating our freedoms. This guy here, that's why I played this, reflect on our freedoms. So this is the governor of Illinois. What he's talking about is you look at your freedoms and say, well, maybe we have too much freedom. We've got to reflect on that.
carried muskets, not assault weapons.
Okay, now let me go back here. This is their new thing. Let me just rewind it.
Carried muskets, not assault weapons.
Okay, now they're trying to tell us that the Second Amendment does not apply because it was written during the time of muskets and they meant muskets. Well, you know, the First Amendment didn't mean television or Twitter. Okay, they didn't know about that. The constitutional amendments are not limited to the technology of 1787. Are you kidding me?
And I don't think a single one of them would have said that you have a constitutional right to an assault weapon with a high-capacity magazine, or that that is more important than the right of the people who attended this parade today to live. Yes, I'm angry.
Oh my goodness, now he is. You know, I wonder if he rehearsed this. Yes, I'm angry. Not a very natural speech maker.
We as a nation deserve better. Let us pray for the injured and those who are still in the hospital tonight. And may the memory of those we lost today be a blessing and a call to action.
Yeah, well, this Democrat Illinois governor, why are you not praying in Chicago for the 60 shot and 15 dead? Why only in Highland Park? Why is that, Gov? Why does the gun violence there not seem to be worthy of a visit and a speech and a ridiculous, poorly written catchphrase, huh? 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carol, Boca Raton.
Hey, Carol in Boca. What's up?
I can't believe the way that mayor, governor, they're all manipulators. They want to take America away from us. I am convinced, all right? Also, Joe Biden, that was the most emptiest speech I have ever heard. It was like it had nothing to do with, Independence Day, and it had everything to do with him because at the end he said, go vote. I mean, who does that? What president? I was furious last night. I went out on a cruise. I met this kid, and I don't know what it's called, when you hate humanity. But this kid, Ben, is all I know is his name is Ben. He told me that he games with this kid, and that they game together, and that the kid hates people so much that that's why he wanted to kill them. Can you imagine?
Well, you know, this is the thing with this age group, okay, of this shooter in Chicago. I got a call on the show on Friday from a kid who was like 16 years old, and he could hardly speak. And I was talking about his call afterwards. That age, you know, like say 15 to 30, they have almost zero interaction with people in person. Everything is done over the computer. And because of that, it's like people aren't even real to them. They have no personal contact. They have no intimacy. Everything is done over the computer, and they've lost their ability to have empathy. They've lost their ability to interact and to converse. And well, yeah, and when a monster does what this animal did in Highland Park yesterday, it's not like they're not even real people to them, because they don't really have contact with real people. I mean, how often do you think he was literally living in his dad and uncle's basement? No mother around, right? Another broken family.
Basement dweller.
Yeah.
That is so typical of this.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how, listen. I saw his uncle. I played a little bit of his uncle there. He seems heartbroken. I get it. But how often did his uncle and his father that he lived with go down in the basement and see what was going on down there?
Yeah, they need interaction. But this kid was so weird, okay, that I met last night on this cruise from the Waterstone Hotel. I could not believe that he had like 7th grade English, because it's all he did was game. And you could see he could not focus. He had ADD, ADHD. And I'm a child psychologist. I don't want to brag, but I'm telling you, this kid himself was scary because he told me he only likes animals and he can't stand people. And he said that he's been friends with this guy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would believe him that you just coincidentally ran into a kid who knows the shooter. That's hard to believe. What are the odds of that? On a cruise out of Florida?
I could barely sleep last night. I'm not kidding. That's how scary this kid was.
Mm-hmm.
And I begged him to call the police.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. Well, thanks so much. You too. Take care. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Pompano.
Hey, Ben. Good. What's up?
So I just want to, the first thing that strikes me about this, and it's just, the reason I know the Democrats don't care one bit about human lives is because they don't actually want to discover how we get back to a time where we still had guns and these mass shootings were happening. They're just using it as an opportunity to grab our guns. And so, I mean, I just became recently a gun guy probably within the last year or two. I really never had an affinity towards them. But now it's just become clearer than ever that every time one of these events happen, they don't actually care about solving the problem, because if they did, they'd be like, well, how come, 25 years ago this doesn't happen, or in Switzerland it doesn't happen. They're just like, no, we need to ban assault rifles. So I don't know what's more disgusting, the actual act of this happening or the how the Democrats are using.
Well, you're never going. Democrats. Rush used to talk about this all the time, and he was so spot on. Rush Limbaugh. He said that Democrats believe that if we just bend to their will and do everything that they want us to do, that we will live in a utopian society where there's no violence, no hunger, and everything's perfect. And that's just not the case. You can't go around and spin your wheels and try to find out why a lunatic who gets face tattoos goes out and does something like this. You don't have to be a rocket scientist or a psychologist to know that this kid had problems. He put tattoos on his face.
Oh, absolutely. And his YouTube videos of him rapping are the most disturbing things you'd ever see.
I saw him.
Yeah, and now they're trying to tie him back to Trump. Oh, they had pictures of him at a rally and all this garbage. But, I mean, the more and more these events happen, I become equally disgusted with not only the perpetrators, but as equally disgusted with the Democratic Party, who really is just standing on the bodies of people to push an agenda that,
Well, Democrats care about one thing and one thing only, power. And they maintain power by fear and rhetoric. And they have zero solutions. This area, Illinois, has some of the strictest gun control laws in America. They even have the red flag laws. So, I find it hard to believe this guy had a rifle at home and that his father and uncle that he lived with were not aware of it. And I'll tell you what, if it belonged to the dad, well, if you've got a kid like this making school shooting videos, I saw his rap video, and puts tattoos on his face, you take the gun out of the house.
Right. I know. This is more of a consequence of Democrat policies than it is anything else. I mean, he grew up in an atmosphere where the policies of the Democrats reign supreme. Broken homes, they have strict gun laws, they're completely detached. I don't know, I'm not religious, but I'm sure if this man had a community, these policies, so they create the problem and then they offer the solution.
But they don't offer the solution. They just talk about a need for solutions. And I like the governor. It's a time to reflect on our liberties. No, we don't reflect. We keep. Hey, listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll free call from anywhere. My name's Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Back after this. Hey, listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll free call from anywhere. My name's Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Back after this.
Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
From the WPBS 25 First Warning Weather Center, this is meteorologist Brooke Silvering. We're going to see temperatures once again in the upper 80s, but keep your umbrella around. A few passing showers rolling in from the Atlantic. Possible as we go throughout your afternoon hours for today. Even into the evening, we could have a few lingering showers.
True Oldies. Traffic check.
Waking up to a smooth ride on the expressways this morning as I-95 and the Turnpike are both crash-free and moving up to speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter. We have a crash off to the right shoulder, though, in West Palm on I-95 heading northbound passing 45th Street. We also have a crash in West Palm on Okeechobee Boulevard just west of Jog Road. This report is sponsored by Panera. They say never to mess with the classics, but Panera did that and more with their new chef chicken sandwiches. Pan-seared chicken, a secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisp, and a pickled chips all in a buttered brioche roll. Try one for only $1 delivery fee when you order on their app. Restrictions apply. That's traffic on Chris Barr.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News Now, I'm Tom Rivers. 6 killed, dozens more wounded when a gunman opened fire with a semi-automatic rifle on an Independence Day parade in Highland Park, Illinois, a Chicago suburb.
The shock is very apparent in this community. Everything shut down early last night or closed altogether yesterday. Arriving in town, it was all dark. Even fast food closed, we were told, because of the shooting. This is a small suburb of Chicago, like a lot of suburbs around the U.S., a lot of chain stores and restaurants and malls. The violence that plagued Chicago doesn't usually make its way here.
ABC's Alex Stone in Highland Park. 22-year-old Robert Bobby Crimo III was captured in a nearby suburb after a day-long manhunt. So far, the motive is unclear. A review of Crimo's apparent social media activity finds posts depicting graphic and violent images, one showing images of cartoon characters being shot. This is ABC News.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
The new Oldies 95
Here we go.
and 96.9 is here.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music.
WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station.
I love these people.
Now, celebrating 45 years. It's the longest running radio show in Florida. We are on the air. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, man. Now, it is the 5th of July. We are back here. We were here live yesterday. We're back today. So there's a new poll out. This is an amazing poll. Latest poll from Harvard Caps Harris shows that Donald Trump is the most popular politician in America. You know, it's absolutely amazing, okay? Tell me another president who, after they're out of office, we know he's coming back in 24, but after they're out of office, anyone cares about, or anyone listens to, or anyone shows up to see, especially after one term. And I mean, there's no getting around it. This is Donald Trump's party, and that means it's your party. This is an amazing thing, and this is why the left and the Kangaroo Committee, the Republican establishment, this is why they are in such a state of panic. They don't understand it, right? No matter what he does, no matter what they come up with, we still love him even more. And they just don't get it. Because we understand what it's all about. Everything they're doing is fake. Everything they're doing, they have got nothing on this guy because he's never done anything wrong. They've had the fake impeachments. They've got this Kangaroo Committee. And they really don't understand why you don't hate Trump. They just don't get it. They just don't get it. And, you know, they've made a big mistake. They made a big mistake. Because what they do is make him more popular every time they do something. So this Hutchinson testimony is just a disaster. I mean, it was being debunked live on True Social during the hearing. And then the Secret Service guys came out and debunked it. And notice how that's disappeared from the narrative. And the media have spent the last week telling you how credible Hutchinson is, when everything she said was debunked. In fact, she didn't even witness anything. Everything she said was hearsay. She claimed a Secret Service man told her about these things, and then that Secret Service man said, I didn't tell her anything like that. She's a liar. But they're still propping her up. Now, over on Fox, Howie Kurtz is a guy over on Fox that I used to have respect for. And he's turned into Chris Wallace over there. Listen to this. This is Kurtz over the weekend talking about Hutchinson.
Cassidy Hutchinson testified under oath about what she'd been told, and some of her ex-colleagues, I think, should also come in and testify under oath if they want to challenge that. It could undermine her, rather than us relying on spokesmen and leaks. But look, here's how we know her testimony broke through. Donald Trump is calling her a wacko and a leaker and a liar.
This is how we know it broke through, because he's calling her a liar and a leaker? Well, if she's lying and she was leaking, why should he not say that? I love this. So Kurtz is saying that President Trump has given Hutchinson credibility because he responded to her slanders against him? That makes no sense.
Was calling her a wacko and a leaker and a liar. Secondly, some conservative commentators who have been dismissing the whole committee as a clown show, attacking her credibility and defending the former president. But there's a split on the right. Mick Mulvaney, Trump's guy, former acting White House chief of staff, saying he believes Hutchinson. But finally, new reporting now about whether or not, well, we know, based on this reporting, that Trump groups paid for her previous lawyer, which is interesting, but also that she says she got a phone call from an intermediary from her former boss, Mark Meadows, saying Donald Trump is thinking about you, he knows you'll be loyal. That has raised questions that could boomerang about whether or not witnesses were being tampered with.
Okay, now they're saying that everything she did before was not credible because the Trump organization, they were paying for her attorneys. Well, it doesn't matter who was paying her attorneys. She is the client. So I've heard this talk. I don't like to hear it on Fox. I'm used to hearing this on MSNBC and CNN. They've been talking about this all week. Well, Trump paid her attorneys. Oh, really? Okay. That means these attorneys were breaking the law. They were violating their oaths. So why don't they send the Bar Association after these attorneys who were committing malpractice? And they were representing Trump instead of her when she was the client. I don't see them going after the attorneys. I don't see them calling on a Bar investigation. I don't even see a Bar complaint, which any of them could make. They could make Bar complaints. Why aren't they making Bar complaints? She didn't witness anything. But what they don't understand, and they really don't understand this because they keep coming and coming and coming, is why we don't turn against Trump. You know why? Because we're on to you. We're on to you. And you will never turn us against President Trump. It's just not going to happen because he is advocating and represents us. You know that Capitol cop, the one that has the neck tattoo all blacked out? Drives me nuts. I see that guy on TV. You can't miss the neck tattoo. It's on the left side of his neck. And most of the time, they have him on CNN, they have it where the left side of his neck is exposed. I am dying to know what is under that blackout tattoo of his. He had something on his neck that he doesn't want people to see. I don't know what it was. Could have been something racist. It could have been a girlfriend's name. Who knows? But there's something. I've never seen a cop with a blackout tattoo like that covers their whole neck. Whatever was over there was a real doozy. But this guy, the cop with the neck tattoo, he was on CNN a couple weeks ago, and he was frustrated. He says, you get outside the Beltway, and they love this guy. Well, yeah. Yeah, this country's not run by the Beltway. So Liz Cheney has lost her mind. She gave an interview over the weekend, and I got a couple clips from it. She's actually considering running for president of the United States. Listen.
So do you run for president? Do you see yourself running for president as a way to prevent what you say would be the destruction of the party, damaging our country?
I haven't made a decision about that yet, and I'm obviously very focused on.
She hasn't made a decision about running for president of the United States. This woman, if if she thinks that she's a credible candidate and she's actually considering running for president, she's got more than a screw loose. She is certifiably insane.
On my re-election, I'm very focused on the January 6th committee. I'm very focused on my obligations to do the job that I have now. And I'll make a decision about 24 down the road. But I think about it less in terms of a decision about running for office and more in terms of, you know, as an American and as somebody who's in a position of public trust now, how do I make sure that I'm doing everything I can to do the right thing, to do what I know is right for the country, and to protect our Constitution.
Yeah, she's always wrapping herself around the Constitution. Let me tell you, beware of people that are in federal government wrapping themselves around the Constitution. When they wrap themselves around the Constitution, they're usually taking it away from you. And then she goes, I mean, think about it. She thinks she's 30, 35 points behind in her House race, and she thinks that she's a credible candidate for 2024? When is the last time a House member became president? Then she goes on, listen to this.
Party survive in the way you've known it if Donald Trump is again chosen?
It can't survive if he's our nominee.
No.
No. I think that he can't be the party nominee, and I don't think the party would survive that. I believe in the party, and I believe in what the party can be and what the party can stand for, and I'm not ready to give that up. Those of us who believe in Republican principles and ideals have a responsibility to try to lead the party back to what it can be.
Okay. I'm sorry about the next bit there. So what she's saying is the Republican Party can't survive. What she means by that is the Republican Party under their control cannot survive. You ever heard this thing about country club Republicans? See, Liz Cheney, who's a legacy, her war criminal father who lied and destroyed millions of lives with his lies about weapons of mass destruction that he knew were not there. How many Americans lost their lives or their limbs because of her war criminal father's lies? And she's where she is on those lies. All right? Because she's a legacy politician. But to them, the Republican Party is a private club. And you know what? You're not an exclusive member. Or at least you're not supposed to be. And the Republican establishment, Liz Cheney and all the rest, are very comfortable losing the Congress and the White House so long as they still control the party. There's a phrase, right? They'd rather lose the election than lose the party. They're not out there trying to win elections, these establishment Republicans. They're not at all. They want to lose because these candidates that are out there running are MAGA Republicans. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take a quick break. 888-GO-KANE1 is our number. Back right after this. Trying to win elections, these establishment Republicans. They're not at all. They want to lose because these candidates that are out there running are MAGA Republicans. It's the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take a quick break. 888-GO-KANE1 is our number. Back right after this.
Love the Steve Kane Show?
These are very talented people, brilliant people.
Well, take it on the go with the iHeartRadio app. Search Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
This is Julian Rubenstein from The Income Show. Listen to my show at 7:30 every Sunday morning, or listen anytime on the web at www.americanhustle.com, where you will learn about structured notes, earning approximately 8% interest income, and our permanent portfolio strategy that strives to provide income growth and protection. And you can always call my office at 561-955-8500 to make an appointment to meet with me personally, Julian Rubenstein. Have a great day.
Men, do you suffer from ED? If so, you know it can be very frustrating, not just for you, but your partner too. Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West Delray can help. Call for a free consultation, 561-320-8893. Call now and get your erection back on demand. Ladies, you can make an appointment for your man too. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893. You've seen the
Steve
ads
Kane
on
Show.
TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow
Steve Kane
you'll
Show.
ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use
Hey,
the promo code
yeah, hold on.
KANE at checkout, buy one MyPillow. You suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
Opinions are like everyone's got one. Get yours in the Steve Kane Show.
Oh man, that's my favorite rejoin. I like that one. Oh man, all right, there's only one opening on the board. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. Oh, man. And the Steve Kane Show, we are now on in the mornings from 5 until 9 a.m. We're talking about these terrible incidents that happened yesterday, and your thoughts on them are certainly welcome, and of course anything else I brought up so far on the program. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Happy past holidays. It's Karen from Coral Springs.
Hey.
Quickly, I can't find you on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, you can. You got to search for 95.3, 96.9 Oldies FM. It'll come right up.
All right, great.
Okay. All right. Take care. All right. Take care. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Wesley. It's Kurt.
All right, Wesley. What's up?
It's a terrible tragedy, of course. It's an evil and awful thing that somebody would do such a thing as that. I just wanted to ask, were you shown something about what's going to happen? On the American public by blue beret wearing Chinese men.
What are you talking? Slow down a second. What are you talking about?
Well, $32,523 in crypto coin to everyone that takes the Omni.
Okay, the mark of the beast. Okay. I mean, what is the relevance to the conversation today? Okay, all right. Oh, my goodness. You meet all kinds in this business. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Anyway, I'm thinking that I think a lot of these kids that are sitting in the basement playing these video games that you kill all day long, when they get out of the house, they figure there's nothing wrong with killing. They're just so programmed to killing all day long. I think these video games really should be banned or something, or people should be.
Well, it's not just the video. See, I was talking about this earlier. There's a lot of reasons why. First off, I don't buy the idea that there's more violent crime going on in this country. I think there's just more media, and you get to see things very fast in real time than you could see before. I really don't think there's as much of an increase in violent crime as we have been led to believe. I mean, I used to hear about crime stories my whole life, but they weren't in real time. You'd hear about what happened 3 days ago or yesterday. You'd find out about it in the newspaper. You wouldn't see people running in real time from someone's Facebook live stream on an iPhone when there was an incident like this. So I don't believe that we should accept that there's an increase in any of these things. I think there's a perception of that because we have immediate media and so much of it.
Oh, well, guaranteed is certainly much better reporting, but I don't remember hearing any of these mass shootings all the time. I mean, so it's coming way too much. Maybe the crime was as many.
No, like I'll tell you what, like Uvalde, for example, terrible tragedy, Uvalde, right? If that would have happened in the 70s, even the 80s, we would have heard about it, but Uvalde's kind of a tiny little remote town. There would have been a little newspaper reporting. You would not have had live coverage from in front of the school while the incident was still going on like we've seen. You wouldn't have the endless video. It would be a one-day story, and it would be small beneath the fold. The technology has made it seem like there's much more of a lot of things. Like I was talking about this earlier, like one of the big things they talk about an increase in bad weather. I don't believe that. I just think we have the ability to see bad weather in places we've never seen it in the past because of the technology.
Yeah, well, certainly they can exaggerate that for sure. Climate change, and global warming is sickening.
Yeah.
They're advertising, but you know.
I mean, you know, look at. I'll give you an example. This is the way things used to be handled. In Chicago over the weekend, 60 people were shot, and 15 are dead. And there's no TV coverage of that. I've read some print stories about it, but there's no dialogue about it. The governor of Illinois didn't go there. I didn't see the public information officer from the Chicago PD have a press conference every 45 minutes like the guy did in Highland Park yesterday. And that's how violent incidents used to be treated. But when there's something that fits the leftist narrative, they're there and they hype it up. Which, if it has any effect, inspires. Maybe we're having one every month or every few weeks because the media are overhyping them so much. How about that? You think that might be possible?
I think you're probably right on the money there, because I think that's maybe what happened in the old days. They didn't bother reporting it too much. They would say a quick mention and that would be the end of it. You're probably right. But I still think that the video games are not helping at all. And then also, the police are not doing their job like they should be. When they had the kid they killed.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I thought was a little strange in Highland Park yesterday. Okay, there's one bit of footage. I think they're police officers on bicycles. And you see there's video footage, and you can hear the gunshots. And you see these two guys riding on bikes. They have yellow jackets on. They look like cops, and they're just looking around. They didn't seem really on alert or anything. Yeah, their response was a little weak.
The police are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like when they showed the police in the car when they were protesting, and the protesters are coming, walking towards the guys back in the car, and they start.
Exactly.
Cops don't get out of the car.
Exactly. All right, Doug, take care. Appreciate the call. All right, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. So there was an incident in Philadelphia where, sad story, a couple police officers were killed. And they've got this lunatic Philadelphia mayor. Listen to him. We got two clips. The first audio is not that great, but it's important to play.
It was a laid-back, chill day. Weather was beautiful. Concert was beautiful. But we live in America, and we have the Second Amendment. And we have the Supreme Court of the United States. Not everybody can carry a gun wherever you want. It's like Dodge City. Okay, now I know the second clip you can hear him better, but what he says there is important. He said, well, we'd like to end all this gun violence, but unfortunately we have a Supreme Court. And they say people can carry guns. Well, yeah, that's the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. That's the mayor of Philadelphia after his two officers were shot. The Second Amendment does not allow you to shoot police officers, okay, or people at a parade. I like how they act as if the Second Amendment allows all these things. You know, there was a story last week in California.
a mistake, a computer glitch, released the gun registry of all the gun owners in California. Not just the gun owners, people that applied for licenses in California and may not have even gotten it, and details on the weapons they have. Anyone really believe that just happened to just be a technical glitch? I don't think so. That's a leftist attack, doxing people, letting people know that shouldn't know who has guns and where. You know, you're always welcome to put in front of your home, this is a gun-free home, so people know it's safe. But I've never seen such a person anywhere I've been that puts a sign up that says, this is a gun-free home. But then the mayor of Philadelphia, he went on, listen to this.
Can you talk about your resolve? People are asking, what's the mayor doing about this? If I had the ability to take care of guns, I would. But the legislature won't let us. The U.S. Congress won't let us.
Wait a minute. I looked at the clock and it's time for our break. So I'll get to that one after the break. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
To take care of guns, I would. But the legislature won't let us. The U.S. Congress.
The show's just flying by. Wait a minute. I looked at the clock and it's time for our break. So I'll get to that one after the break. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Making morning radio great again.
I think you're gonna really love it.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Have you ever wanted to feel like royalty?
Treasure bath! I'm going to have a treasure bath! Treasure bath!
Join our loyal listener club and sign up today at oldiesouthflorida.com. Once you're a member, you'll be eligible to get special deals, participate in exclusive contests, and more.
Hey man, that's groovy.
Plus, you'll get our newsletter in your inbox, packed with information on your favorite oldies personalities.
By the way, if you've not done so already, like the video. If you're new here, subscribe. By the way, if you've not done so already, like the video. If you're new here, subscribe.
From the WPTF 25 First Warning Weather Center, this is meteorologist Brooke Silvering. We're going to see temperatures once again in the upper 80s, but keep your umbrella around. A few passing showers rolling in from the Atlantic. Possible as we go throughout your afternoon hours for today. Even into the evening, we could have a few lingering showers.
True oldies. Traffic check.
Waking up to a smooth ride on the expressways this morning as I-95 and the Turnpike are both crash-free and moving up to speed from Boca Raton to Jupiter. We have a crash off to the right shoulder, though, in West Palm on I-95 heading northbound passing 45th Street. We also have a crash in West Palm on Okeechobee Boulevard just west of Jog Road. This report is sponsored by Panera. They say never to mess with the classics, but Panera did that and more with their new Chef Chicken sandwiches. Pan-seared chicken, secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisp and a pickled chips, all in a buttery brioche roll. Try one for only $1 delivery fee when you order on their app. Restrictions apply. That's traffic on Chris Barr.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
This is Steve Kane. We are here this morning with William Youngerman from William Youngerman, Inc. for our Gold Report. William, how are you? Welcome to the show. Wanted to ask you the big question, the big one that everyone wants to know. With gold, when's a good time to buy, and when do you sell?
Okay, that's and the question. The answer to the question, when do you sell, is really goes back to why did you buy it in the first place? When the reason you bought it is fulfilled, it's time to sell. Or when the reason that you bought it no longer exists, it's time to sell. In 1980, gold hit a high of $850, and people had bought gold all the way up to that level. And at that time, the reason to own gold changed dramatically because we had 25% interest rates all of a sudden. The government said we will stop inflation no matter what, and they did so with very high interest rates. That reason for owning gold then changed, and we dramatically told our customers in the 1980s, sell your gold, sell. It's finished for the time being, okay? That was a reason. Now, some people held on because they said, no, I want this as my insurance policy. insurance policy, you don't necessarily buy and sell your life insurance policies. You have it for a particular reason. And some of your money should always be in gold, regardless of what the price is doing. Historically, we've always said at least 5%. At this particular time, we recommend much higher percentage of our assets being gold, silver, and platinum. So the reason for buying it will determine when to sell it. If that reason changes or is fulfilled, that's the time to sell it. But it must go along with the fact that you understand that gold is the only real money in the world. It is the only thing that has no IOUs or attached to it. It is an insurance policy, and it is a hedge against inflation, and it's the only real money that will maintain its buying power for you in the long term.
Okay, well that answers that question. If the question becomes where, well, I can tell you where. William Youngerman Inc., located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. You can drop by to the Bank of America building right on the first floor opposite the Bank of America. You can call William at 1-800-327-5010 or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free.
954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Ready to get fired up? Just 60 seconds and you'll be racing for the phone. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Steve will be joining us at the top of the hour. Okay, let me finish up with the Philadelphia mayor before we move on, because this guy is a real beaut, but he's a typical Democrat. So they had a shooting in Philadelphia yesterday where a couple of cops were shot, and I'm surprised the media even seemed to take note of that, since in their mind the cops are the bad guys. Here's the mayor of Philadelphia.
Can you talk about your resolve? People are asking, what's the mayor doing about
If I had the ability to take care of guns, I would. But the legislature won't let us. The U.S. Congress won't let us. The governor does the best he can. Our attorney general does the best he can. But this is a gun country. It's crazy. We're the most armed country in world history, and we're one of the least safest. So, you know, until Americans decide that they want to give up the guns and give up the opportunity to get guns, we're going to have this problem.
I see you have a soccer shirt on. We're having the World Cup here.
Madrid was wonderful.
Oh, he's so broken up over the police officers. Now he's trying to talk about soccer.
I walked around Madrid at 1 o'clock.
How concerned are you about big events like this?
I'm concerned every single day. There's not an event or a day where I don't lay on my back and look at the ceiling and worry about stuff. So everything we have in the city over the last 7 years, I worry about. I don't enjoy 4th of July. I don't enjoy the Democratic National Convention. I didn't enjoy the NFL draft. I'm waiting for something bad to happen all the time. So I'll be happy when I'm not here, when I'm not mayor, and I can enjoy some stuff.
You're looking forward to not being mayor?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what a lunatic. This one in particular is frightening. He doesn't like the 4th of July. He is in Philadelphia. He's the mayor of Philadelphia, which is the home of the 4th of July. My goodness, that's where the Declaration was signed. And this really goes to so much damage. It's not just Generation Z and millennials. Liberals today, the Democrats that are in power, are Democrats that were educated by this Vietnam War generation. And one of the ways that these draft dodgers got out of being drafted was staying in college and getting advanced degrees. And a lot of them became college professors and polluted the minds of the Democrats that are mayors and lawyers and senators today. And there's this new move where 4th of July is bad. Now, Democrats have always criticized 4th of July and American independence. They've always been the Hate America First crowd, but not so open. It used to be just fringe-type people, like AOC Tlaib-type people, would come out and say, oh, 4th of July is a terrible day, and Plymouth Rock landed on us and all this stuff, Malcolm X. But now it's become mainstream in the Democrat Party. This story, they came out of National Public Radio. A lot of you probably heard this. National Public Radio announced it was breaking its long-standing 4th of July tradition of reading the Declaration of Independence to instead discuss what equality means. For the past 33 years on NPR's Morning Edition, NPR have celebrated America's birthday by reading the founding document. However, co-host Leah Fidel, perfect name for her, Fidel like in Castro, announced on Twitter that this year they were scrapping the tradition to analyze what Thomas Jefferson meant by all men are created equal. What followed was an 11-minute discussion between two historians, no doubt liberals, on the steps Americans took in fighting for equal rights for all men and women in this country. The NPR host tied the fight for equality to recent rulings by the Supreme Court on Roe v. Wade and a bunch of other things. Let me tell you, National Public Radio is one of the biggest rackets out there. Same thing with public television. Oh man, I remember about 15 years ago, National Public Radio moved their studios in D.C., their hub, and into new studios in D.C., and they did something really stupid. National Public Radio invited the entire Washington media to their new studios, and they were the most luxurious, high-tech radio studios I have ever heard of before, at least at that time 15 years ago. They had a special health bar with a nutrition chef that NPR hired. They're always on the air begging for money. Oh, become a member. We didn't, NPR, it's tough. Member-supported station, just like they do on TV, they do on the radio. They served fresh honey in this NPR. I'm not making this up. You can look this up online. I'm sure it's still online somewhere in a lot of detail. They had in this special health bar at the NPR studios, paid for by National Public Radio, which is government funded, they had fresh honey. Well, how do you have fresh honey available? You got to have honey for the throat, right? Because they're on the radio broadcasting. Where do you get fresh honey from? You're at National Public Radio, you're in D.C., you're on the air begging for money and member support and all this stuff all the time. Where do you get fresh honey that you need for your throat? Well, you hire a beekeeper, of course, and NPR hired a beekeeper, and I'm not making this up, and on the roof of the NPR headquarters, they had a beekeeper, a professional full-time beekeeper, who had beehives on the roof of the D.C. National Public Radio building. I am not kidding you. So, yeah, I know. Talk about snowflakes. Right, I know. They're basically, I know. Pretty leftist. So it doesn't surprise me that they've dispensed with reading of the Declaration of Independence. The Constitution will be next. See, they don't want you to respect the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence because those two documents get in the way of their power grab. I mean, look at the limitations they're talking about on the Second Amendment. You know what they want more than that is the First Amendment. That's the one that really gets in the way. And you know what? They're trying to do that. Look at this January 6th Kangaroo Committee. What are they trying to do? They're trying to stop MAGA from being able to publicly speak. That's why there's such a rush to lie about this Highland Park shooter. How many times have you heard since last night, after he was identified, how many times have you read in an article online or heard on television that he's a Trump supporter? That is not true. He was Antifa. And I know he was Antifa because he was wearing an Antifa hat on his social media images. And if you look at that picture of him at the Trump rally, he's not wearing Trump gear. He has no MAGA hat. He has no Trump shirt on. He's with some friends, and they're holding actually Biden signs. And they wrote some things and taped some things to the Biden signs. They were Antifa at the rally, going there to, check it out. But that picture of him on Antifa, I found that on Twitter instantly. As soon as his name was released in the press briefing yesterday, I went on Twitter, I put in his name, and within 30 seconds, a bunch of pictures from his social media popped up. One of them is him wearing an Antifa hat. I haven't seen him in a MAGA hat. Why are they so quick to tell you he's MAGA when he's not? And why have the media ignored the Antifa hat? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. Just like the shootings and the murders in Chicago due to gun violence over the weekend don't fit the narrative. That's it. You know, and it's really sad to watch people that I respect in the media not do any research. Now, I know I'm going to give some of them a break because yesterday was 4th of July, and a lot of these people were off work yesterday, and they're a little behind. They may not be up to speed on everything that's going on with the incident, but this guy, make no mistake about it, the Highland Park shooter is Antifa. He is not. He is not MAGA. Don't let them sell that. And that picture is still all over Twitter, so you should go and find it, and you should retweet it and let all your friends know about it. All right, our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE 1, 888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. Steve will be joining us at the top of the hour. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is John in Wellington.
Hey, John. What's up?
I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention that the left likes to tell us constantly that all men are created equal, and that is all very true. But in the preamble of the Declaration of Independence, it also says that we are endowed with certain inalienable rights. Among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and yet they deny life to unborn children at every turn.
Yeah, well, they've dehumanized unborn children and don't consider unborn children people.
That's right.
You're only considered people if you are outside of the womb, or at least a certain percentage of you are.
Well, even then they want to kill the baby.
Sometimes.
And then they say, well, the mother and the doctor will discuss it and see what transpires. It's like the baby's already born.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. But we beat them on that one, didn't we?
Goodness, yes.
Yeah. Thanks to President Trump. All right, listen, we got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. 1-888-GO-CANE1 is our number, toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break, come back with your calls, and be back right after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Are you feeling over the hill? Tired? Sluggish? Taking those midday naps? Just not feeling yourself? There is help. If you want to look and feel like you did when you were young, call Dr. Mitch Vitez at the Biostation West El Rey and talk to him about hormone replacement pellet therapy. Take it from me.
I was 10 seconds off on that one. Yeah. I thought I dumped out and I didn't. It still had 8.8 left.
So you're not making a call to anybody, all right?
No, that's going to be at 8:15.
Business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your installation and radiant barrier.
and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
939-1500.
Got him.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Hollywood Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
This is Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. Give me a call today to save up to 50% on your insulation and radiant barrier and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500.
Live, local, and in your face. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve. Oh, man, I'm looking outside the window at the roads, and there are not very many cars out there. I guess a lot of people are hungover and calling in sick today. Well, it's July 5th that everybody really wants off, right? Because you're out partying on July 4th, and you got to get, it's hard to get up and go to work in the morning. I get it. I'm looking at the roads, and they are pretty barren compared to what they normally would be on a Tuesday. Oh, man, so there's lots going on. I mean, this shooting yesterday by this Antifa guy that they're trying to call a Trump supporter is, in Illinois, I know Chicago had tough gun control laws, but the state of Illinois as a state has, I think, maybe the strictest gun laws in the country, including red flag laws.
Well, the most interesting part of yesterday was when President Biden.
Yeah.
It's hard to get them.
Yeah.
Biden got up to make his 4th of July commemorative speech, and there was no mention about his big accomplishment. This is, after all, the first time that a gun control law has been passed by the Congress. I know it's not perfect, but it's getting there. We're right around the corner to being able to confiscate your guns, which is the only thing they want to do.
I thought Biden's big accomplishment was getting the Russian pimp daddy off Hunter's back when he paid that hooker. Yeah.
The whole 42 shows, but we did a lot of communicating yesterday during the Biden speech and everything, and everyone was wondering why Biden hadn't spent more time, dedicated any time to the families that were saved because of this wonderful law. Well, the fact is, 2 weeks after the law has been passed, this mass killing occurs, and the bottom line of that is, with all this great accomplishments, he didn't accomplish anything. Gun control doesn't work. And this turns out to be just another example of the futility of all this concentration on gun control.
I was watching a lot of the. By the way, I got to make an announcement, Steve. If anyone out there has received calls from me, like at 4 in the morning or 5:30 in the morning or 23 times last night, I was butt dialing everybody yesterday, and oh my God, Steve, oh my goodness, I knew I butt dialed you, but I butt dialed you 4 times. I butt dialed someone else about 9 times, and it was about 4:35 this morning. So oh boy, people probably think I got arrested or I'm in the hospital. But now getting back to this though, I watched a lot of the. I'm not kidding, by the way, guys. I watched a lot of the footage from the cell phone cameras of what happened in Highland Park, and obviously it's an incredible tragedy, and everyone's running for their lives. If that had been in Ron DeSantis' free Florida, though, you wouldn't see something like that happen. And the reason you wouldn't see something like that happen in that kind of situation is these cowardly shooters wouldn't take the chance because there are too many people that can shoot back. Illinois as a whole have so many gun control regulations. This city of Highland Park even has regulations on top of that, including, get this, Steve, a ban on high-capacity magazines and assault weapons. And I think yesterday they kept asking, he left his rifle, and they kept asking the public information officer, the guy with the beard who had a press conference every 45 minutes, they kept asking him what type of rifle it was, and he and I still haven't seen it reported. He wouldn't answer, and I think it was probably an AR-15. That's the one of choice, it seems. But he didn't answer it, not, I don't think, for the chain of evidence or the investigation. They have a high-capacity and assault weapons ban in Highland Park, and they don't want to let people know that the ban doesn't work in Highland Park. That's my take on it. I can't think of any other reason. They gave us the name of the guy.
Gun control doesn't control anything.
Well, and
an honest citizen's right to own a gun.
And protect themselves.
Carry a gun.
Yeah. All right, well, listen, let me give out the number. It's 1-888-GU-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. My name is John from Boynton Beach.
Hey, John.
Just to let you know.
Hey, John.
It sounds like your transmitter's off frequency because on my radio when I dial you in, it's all staticky.
Oh, I don't know. All right. Is that all you got?
First class license. I can be a broadcast engineer. So.
Oh, okay. But you're not. But you couldn't be a phone company guy because your phone connection is really bad. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Susan. Real quick, I live down in Davie.
Hey, Susan.
Hey, Steve. I'm not getting your signal down here.
Oh my goodness.
Around 6:30 in the morning when you guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we changed our format this week, and it seems to be that the Steve Kane Show is becoming tech support. All right, now we'll look into it. All right, take care. Appreciate it. Trying to get a discussion going about the news issues of the day. Well, this is what happens, Steve, when you go screenless. We take all of our calls screenless, and most of the time that's awesome. Most of the time it's awesome, and then on occasion, we're tech support. Good morning.
The bug's out.
Yes. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning. This is Carlton.
Yes, Carlton.
Hey, Carl.
Yes. I was just calling about the same thing. I'm not getting your signal. Fort Lauderdale. You're coming in and out.
Well, we will check into it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Take care. At least they're concerned, Steve. Yeah, I know. But I'm going to have to start screening the calls, okay? We get it. We'll look into it. I promise. All right, listen, our number's toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are calling us from, 888-GO-KANE-1. There's a big, though, desperation for them to label this guy a MAGA guy, which, they always want to... Well, as soon as they identify...
Turned to Lori and said, how long is it going to take them to try to pin this on Trump?
Well, what happens when these incidents take place, like this one yesterday, is the liberals and the media and the Democrat politicians, the first thing they do is sit around and hope that it's a white guy. Like, I remember when the Boston... terrorist attack. Remember the Muslim terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon? And they didn't have... they were Chechnya, I believe, if I remember correctly. They were Chechen Muslims. And when they had before they knew they were... when we saw the bomb blow up at the Boston Marathon, we knew it was a terrorist attack. Come on. And the media, of course, they didn't want to label it a terrorist attack. Then the police come out, and they had a street camera photograph of the two bombers. They're suspects at the time, and it was a very poor black and white photograph. They looked like they were white guys, and when the press came out, they were jumping for joy that it was two white guys and not two Muslims. And then we find out that they are the Tsarnaev brothers. They sound like a trapeze act at the circus, but the Tsarnaev brothers were Islamic terrorists. And then So the first thing they do when there's one of these incidents is they sit around and hope that it's a white guy. That's their first thing. That's why 60 shot and 15 dead in Chicago over 4th of July weekend isn't in the news. The governor of Illinois didn't go to Chicago and have a emotional press conference about the 15 dead and 60 shot in Chicago, but he's in Highland Park because the shooter's white, the victims are white, and they can fit their narrative with it. That's the only reason. And that's how it always is in these cases. It's the same old story. And I don't really think the Democrats want gun control, Steve. I know they talk about it, but I don't think they want it. They don't want the issue to go away. They want to be able to have, rhetoric. All right, let's go to the phones at 1-888-GO-K1. Hopefully we'll elevate the quality of the calls thus far. Good morning. Oh, here we go, Steve.
So bad that I could barely make out what your answer.
Okay. Well, how many? But I'll just be honest with you. Do you really think that Steve and I want to take call after we've said that it's being looked into? I promise you, the engineer has been made aware. Do you really think that we want to spend the whole show taking calls? I can't hear you. I got static. Well, now that I asked, what do you think? Okay, all right. Oh my goodness, here we go. You're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes. There's another one, Steve.
No, it's not another one. Well, I'm the only one.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to tell
sorry
you
to
that
prejudge you.
I moved my radio a little, so now you got coming in clear.
Oh, great.
Try and move their radio.
Yeah, maybe they can get out the coat hanger and connect it to the radio.
Anyway, I just want to say about all of this stuff going on, parents need to pay more attention to their children. They put them in the basements and don't care about what they're up to. And if they sat down as a family, talked about matters, taught their children the safety of a gun, how to use it, how not to use it, when to use it, and how to deal with one, there wouldn't be all these issues. So it's just something that they...
Well, let me tell you something. These cops up in Highland Park are leaving all kinds of information out, okay? I played earlier in the show an interview with his uncle. He lived with his dad and his uncle in the basement. He lived in the basement. Uncle and dad live in the main house. The uncle said, as far as he knows, he didn't have a gun. And he had no job. He's unemployed. Where did he get the rifle? What kind of rifle was it? Where did he get the ammo? And let me tell you, if my kid had a rifle in the house, I think I would know about it.
Well, definitely, they're not something you can hide under a pillow. So why are they keeping him in the basement? Is there not a bedroom he can live in? Why doesn't the uncle live down there and the kid live up with his father?
I don't know. It seems a little weird. Probably because the dad wants him out of the way, and if he's down in the basement, he's not interfering with his life upstairs, would be my guess. And by the way, where's Mom?
Yeah, well, that's true, too. But as a neighbor, if I knew a kid was living in a basement and I saw him now and then, and every time he came out he had a new tattoo on his face, I would be a little concerned myself.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate it. I know. Well, we love you too. Oh my God. No, I appreciate. Hey, listen, the worst thing that can happen is people don't care, right? So we do appreciate that you guys care enough. We do care. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE. I don't want to sound ungrateful. 888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig, of course, joined by Steve Kane. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this. 888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig, of course, joined by Steve Kane. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this.
Now, here's the
Be right back, guys.
weather forecast.
From the WPBS 25/20 Weather Center, this is meteorologist Brooke Silvering. We're going to see temperatures once again in the upper 80s, but keep your umbrella around. A few passing showers rolling in from the Atlantic. Possible as we go throughout your afternoon hours for today. Even into the evening, we could have a few lingering showers.
True oldies. Traffic check.
Traffic in the Palm Beaches is moving well at this time on 95 and the Turnpike. No accidents or delays. We do have a disabled vehicle blocking the right shoulder on I-95 heading southbound just before Boynton Beach Boulevard. A crash in Delray Beach on Atlantic Avenue at 441, and we have another crash in Boca Raton on Glades Road eastbound approaching 95. This report is sponsored by KFC. The Jack Harlow meal from KFC is here. It comes with a spicy chicken sandwich, a side of mac and cheese, KFC secret recipe fries, ranch, and an ice cold lemonade. That's finger licking good. Order your Jack Harlow meal today on the KFC app. Price and participation may vary. Tax and substitutions extra. That's traffic. I'm Chris Barr.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
ABC News Now, on time records. 6 killed, dozens more wounded when a gunman opened fire with a semi-automatic rifle on an Independence Day parade in Highland Park, Illinois, a Chicago suburb.
The shock is very apparent in this community. Everything shut down early last night or closed altogether yesterday. Arriving in town, it was all dark. Even fast food closed, we were told, because of the shooting. This is a small suburb of Chicago, like a lot of suburbs around the U.S., a lot of chain stores and restaurants and malls. The violence that plagued Chicago doesn't usually make its way here.
ABC's Alex Stone in Highland Park. 22-year-old Robert Bobby Crimo III was captured in a nearby suburb after
Steve
a
Kane Show.
manhunt. So far, the motive is unclear. A review of Crimo's apparent social media activity finds posts depicting graphic and violent images,
hold on.
one showing images of cartoon characters being shot. This is ABC News. 22-year-old Robert.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Michael, $5 super chat. Thank you. Congratulations on the expansion. Was he a registered Democrat? I know, exactly.
Insulation and radiant barrier, and up to 35% on your electric bill. That's 954-939-1500.
Yeah, everyone please thank Michael.
954-939-1500.
The new
Here we go.
Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 is here.
Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music.
WWNN Pompano Beach, a VCMG live radio station.
I love these people.
Now, celebrating 45 years, it's the longest running radio show in Florida.
We are on the air.
The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always, of course, joined by Steve Kane here. Hey, Steve. I've been better. I'll tell you why I've been better. I'm looking at what's going on in the news, and it's just making me physically ill, what they're doing. This Highland Park shooting, it's becoming an extension of the January 6th committee. Because, the whole purpose of the January 6th committee, this kangaroo committee with fake witnesses that don't witness things, that are called to give testimony and perjure themselves and lie to Congress, is to declare that MAGA is a violent domestic terrorist organization, right? That's why and they're using this Highland Park shooting incident yesterday, calling this Antifa kid MAGA to further that agenda. And I'm sick of it.
To further that agenda.
Every story that I've read that is updated since his arrest, because they got him, right? Every story says he's a Trump supporter. When his name yesterday, when the police, before they got him and they gave his name, I went on Twitter, I put his name in, and instantly a photograph came up of him wearing an Antifa hat. Okay? An Antifa hat with the big Antifa logo on it. They have a picture of him at a Trump rally with... Yeah, I've seen the... Yeah, you can find the Antifa picture of him. Yeah, absolutely. They have a photograph. They don't acknowledge that he's Antifa. It's not even mentioned. That photo you never see. They have a picture of him at a Trump rally. Okay, now this picture, if you look at the full picture, which I did, he's with a couple of his friends. He is not wearing Trump gear, no Make America Great Again hat, no Trump shirt. He's wearing red, white, and blue, and they're holding Biden signs that they wrote some things on. Okay? He is not MAGA, he is Antifa, and you know what? The media know it, and they're lying to you because they want... They're already disappearing them. They're already disappearing the Antifa pictures, and it's not mentioned in any of the news articles. They are rewriting history while we're living it. And it's very disturbing, and I'm very disappointed in some news outlets that I go to and typically trust. I mean, there's no excuse for this, and I didn't do any. Yeah.
Flashback. I'm a big movie buff, and I see the world as one big movie. There's a Warren Beatty film called The Parallax View. You familiar with it?
Is that a talkie? No, I've heard of it. I'm not sure which one. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Oh well. Let me take this opportunity to suggest everyone in the audience, if you have one of those streaming deals or something, you'll find The Parallax View up there, and it's an assassination school basically, where they kill certain public figures they're trying to get rid of, and they set it up to hang the crime on somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's when as soon as they announced that he had thrown down the gun there, which still doesn't make sense to me. He was so meticulous and everything else. Why would he not have found a way to get rid of that gun? I mean, the gun was just a direct transfer to him. But anybody that knows The Parallax View, this reminds me of it. It's like I think I'm getting paranoid.
Getting? We haven't gotten, if you notice, unless you guys have seen this and I haven't, but there's not been a lot of detail released on his escape. They got him, and we know he went up and down this ladder, and my guess is he did what Nicholas Cruz did in Parkland. He made his escape hiding among the people that were running away from the danger, is what it looked like.
The logical thing to have done would have been to take the gun with him, not leave it behind for the police to put on the top of the evidence file.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to know, unless he's brain dead, he had to realize that they were going to be able to trace that gun right.
And a lot of people don't understand, well, why do you Second Amendment supporters, they call us NRA. I'm not an NRA member, but why do the NRA types, because I guess we're NRA types, right? Why do they not support any type of restriction like raising the age? And I'll tell you why. It's a slippery slope. Once you get together with the Democrats and you say, okay, you can't buy a gun till you're 25, then they're going to come after something. The liberals, you can't deal with liberals. It's the same reason you don't deal with terrorists. You deal with terrorists, you give into a demand, they have more demands, right? If you make a gun control deal that may seem reasonable to you, with the Democrats, they're going to come after you for something else. I mean, look at this. We were talking about this incident yesterday of the 10-year-old girl. Let me give you a textbook example. This 10-year-old girl, pregnant in Ohio, who they had to take across the border to Indiana to get the abortion. They have a 6-week abortion ban in Ohio, and this 10-year-old girl was a couple days past that. I bet you, because I saw today that she had some abuse counselor, right, that she was working with. I bet you that they waited those extra couple days on purpose to get her past the 6 weeks to get a test case. And these Democrats are very devious. You can't work with them, you can't deal with them, and you can't give any concessions, especially to our constitutional amendments.
They're unprincipled.
Yeah, and look at this Roe v. Wade rhetoric. They're hiding behind this right to privacy means abortion. I mean, they're not even vaguely connected.
Phrase, I say, show me the right to privacy in the Constitution. Where is it? It's not.
Yeah. Well, I know Roe v. Wade and abortion isn't in it, that's for sure. And they take this right to privacy and they stretch it out to this. The Second Amendment's very clear, and if you give in to them on anything, they're just going to come for more. That's what they will always do. And, banning the AR-15 isn't a solution. If there were no more AR-15s tomorrow, these monsters would just go and use another gun. And then, of course, the liberals would talk about that gun, and we got to get rid of that gun. There are just people... Yeah.
Question. I am obviously not a firearms expert, but I did hear the shot pattern of one of the films that they played, showing the moment that the shooting occurred. And I don't know, I need somebody that understands ballistics a little bit. I'm sure we got a lot of gun people in our audience. It seems for a semi-automatic gun, those shots were very close together. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to believe that was everyone was a different pull of the trigger. It's hard to believe that wasn't automatic.
Well, okay, I'll tell. Okay, I pulled up the. There's some video that you can hear the audio of the gunshots in very well, and I pulled that up yesterday and played it really, really loud. It is semi-auto. It's not fully automatic. It is semi-auto. It is rather quick. I don't know too much. We don't know what kind of weapon he had because the police don't want to tell us.
Common sense thing. Can we play that?
No, I can't. I can't play that. No, I cannot play the sounds of people being shot on the air.
Let's get it for tomorrow's show. And what you can do is, it's not definitive, but you can listen to the shot pattern and just try to imagine pulling the trigger every time with it.
Well, my guess would be it's definitely, I would say, a semi-auto. It does not sound like a fully auto. I've been around fully autos. It didn't sound like that. It's possible he had one of those bump stocks that President Trump banned. Yeah. Yeah, with one of those bump stocks like the guy in Vegas had. Remember, Trump banned those. And it very well could have been something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. But it was not a fully automatic gun. What, was it fully automatic?
People who know more about what guns sound like than we do.
Yeah. Well, if somebody has a thought on it, you're welcome to call us. But I listened to it quite a bit because I was thinking the same thing because I heard people say it was a fully automatic machine gun. A fully automatic machine gun has a very unique sound and it runs out of ammo real quick. And it was around one, but the guy in Vegas used a bump stock, and I remember the sound from his weapon sounded similar to that. But regardless of it, okay, I find it very odd that as much as they're calling him a Trump supporter, we haven't seen what his voter registration is, which is on file there. We haven't seen the gun. They haven't even told us what kind of gun. His father ran for mayor against the sitting mayor of Highland Park, and they're not telling us what political party the father is from. I tell
family.
Yeah, but I don't think the guy was a Republican or MAGA, the father, or we would know that already. The left are all about narratives and false narratives and crafty narratives. All right, hey, listen, callers on hold, stand by. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will take some calls. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. Back after this.
Smell the truth. The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Morning 6 to 9 on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9.
Men, do you suffer from ED? If so, you know it can be very frustrating, not just for you, but your partner too. Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bayou Station West Delray can help. Call for a free consultation, 561-320-8893. Call now and get your erection back on demand. Ladies, you can make an appointment for your man too. 561-320-8893. 561-320.
Hit another spot, Rich. Oh my goodness.
Smarter than 95,000 milligrams of B6. Get smarter with the Steve Kane Show. Morning 6 to 9 a.m.
Do you suffer from neuropathy, back pain, shoulder pain, or osteoarthritis? Stop the suffering and stop the pain. Call Lighthouse Medical Center, 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation when you mention you heard them on the radio. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Rich, bring us back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane here. Hey, Steve. Oh, boy. Yeah, absolutely. Well, when you say the gun issue, what do you mean? What kind of gun?
Whether anybody else was struck by the sound.
The sound? Okay.
Yes. It sounds like automatic or semi-automatic.
Okay. You know, don't you find it odd that they haven't told us the kind of gun that he dropped? I mean, why would they keep that secret?
Keeping their options open.
Yeah. Whatever. I guess. Oh, I got a little bit of audio here I wanted to play, though. By the way, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Did you see this bizarre clip of AOC? I'll take that as a no, Steve.
I don't know what you're talking
AOC? You didn't? Well, then that means you didn't see it.
Which one you're talking about?
No, well, you didn't see it then.
Weird.
No, I guess you didn't see this then. No, AOC is, well, she's talking about a new form of resistance. Listen to this. This is AOC yesterday. Very strange.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday.
Steve Kane Show.
And I say happy because joy,
Hey, hold on.
too, can be an act of resistance. I want to talk about personal acts of reclamation because sometimes people will say, there's nothing I can do, I can't do, I feel so powerless. And there is no act too small that you can engage in. And even today, I have a personal errand. I need to redo my nails. And I've decided
Oh, my Lord.
that I'm going to use my new manicure as almost like a personal act of reclamation for me and my story.
Okay, yeah. So reclamation, that means like reclaiming. She's going to reclaim her story by having her nails done, and that is an act of resistance. That's AOC, sitting member of Congress.
That does tell it all, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Al, you know what? You don't want me to say I'm calling from Brooklyn Bagels. I won't say it. Anyway,
get him off the phone.
Okay. Okay. And you know what?
What do you think, we're stupid like you and your liberal friends?
And I'm going to dump that. And I dumped it. You know, that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. That is the sad... That is the sad state of the Democrat Party. It really is. The sad state of the Democrat Party. You know, but you got to feel bad for the guy, though, Steve. He's just trying to feed himself. He's become a panhandler.
Tell him to get a job like other people have.
How long have you known Liberal Al?
Long enough to know that he's never held
Okay.
a job.
You think he's going to start now? All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Victor, and I'm calling from Silver Spring, Maryland, listening to you on my Alexa.
Awesome.
I got it hooked up to my radio so I can annoy the passerbys listening to you.
Awesome.
I almost got shot at twice.
Steve Kane Show. No, you're done. You can't put you back on. Done.
Me. And then a few months later, I was standing at the bus stop in Georgia and Upshur, waiting for my bus to go home, and I heard shots and people were saying, duck, duck, duck. I have no idea what's going on because I can't see well enough to know what direction the shots are coming from, but it sounded like they were coming behind me, and so I lucked out again. But these young people today, they seem to have no respect for anything, period. Because I'm 75, I remember growing up, I was not allowed to call any adult by their first name except for a relative, like Aunt Mary, Uncle Bob. Everybody had to be Mr. or Mrs. or Miss.
You really think that's the problem with a kid that gets tattoos on his face?
Yes.
No.
Also, these 3 or 4 year olds, I witnessed temper tantrums And I go up to the kid and the mother, and I say, hey, I happen to be spying for Santa Claus today, and I'm going to turn your kid in for being naughty. The kid gets quiet all of a sudden. The mother says, do you really know Santa Claus? I said, yeah, I work for him. Today's my turn to spy. Then I point to a total stranger. I said, tomorrow he'll probably be spying as well. And then I tell the kid, hey, around Christmas time, Santa Claus is really smart. He gets people to dress up to look like him. You'll never know where the real one is, so you got to...
You sound like a terrible man. Yeah, I mean, why are you going around, and I can hear the pleasure in your voice, like you're getting worked up, terrorizing children.
It's the only way to stop them from having a temper tantrum, because the parents...
Who are these, what is your relationship to these parents of the children that you terrorize?
None.
So you go, so like you're out in public, and you get involved and go up to strange children, you're a stranger, parents you don't know, and you terrorize them about Santa Claus?
Yeah, and usually the parents will thank me for keeping the kid from having a full-blown temper.
I've never heard it, Steve. I've never heard anything like this. No, I think this guy is very serious. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He said 3. He said 3. 3, 4, 5. I think I would, if a guy came up, go ahead with what? If a guy came up to me like that, I'd be calling the police. I mean, I don't know what's going on with our callers. You know what I think it is, Steve? I think people are hungover from the 4th of July. I think that's what it is, because I don't... Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It has never been like this. Never been like this. When a weekend doesn't go by, how many people were killed in Chicago?
15.
Get to the major deaths in Chicago.
15.
They get so caught up in this mass crime with the shooter and all that they never even got to how many 15 people were killed in Chicago that didn't even make the news. That's new. That's not that hasn't been this way. It's never been this bad.
Well, let's hope not. No, I really don't think so, Steve. I'm going to disagree with you on that. See, I think what's going on here is, people wonder why are there more of these, okay? And if there are more shootings than there used to be, the thing that I would blame for it would be pretty simple, and we've seen this since Columbine. It really started since Columbine, which was in 1999. It's the cable news cycle and the media and social media. When these things happen, it becomes a big deal. And if you look at all these school shooters, they're all losers and outcasts. And now they're the big man. Everyone's talking about them. They're all over the media. They get the President of the United States to say their name.
The frequency is still different. I mean, when you stop and you think about this weekend, there was so much violence, they didn't have time for the other major headline, which is how many people do we say were killed in Chicago?
60 shot, 15 dead in Chicago.
15 dead in Chicago. That headline was secondary to the mass shooting because they didn't have room for both of them. I mean, that's new. The frequency, that's new. It's never been this bad. I mean, it's like you can't get through a weekend without mass deaths.
I don't think the frequency has increased. I don't think so. I really don't.
We can address this last week.
What, in Chicago? Because in Chicago
got left out.
Well, which ones? Well, Highland Park will separate, okay? If Highland Park didn't happen. What happened in Chicago would have happened anyway. It's a 3-day party weekend. And anytime, there's a couple times of the year where there are big shooting incidents in Chicago. One are on 3-day holiday weekends like this one, because 4th of July fell on a Monday. So you had a 3-day weekend. The shooting started actually Thursday and Friday. okay? At like Thursday night, Friday morning, and then it went through yesterday. The other time in Chicago is they get, they have bad winters. When they get the first warm day, the gangbangers come out for retribution, and there's always a mass thing after that. But 3-day weekend, especially drinking holiday weekends, there's always mass shootings like this in Chicago. I think we've got a media and a party that are very desperate, and I think they're jumping on things to fit a narrative more so than they would. I was talking to a caller about this earlier, Steve. You look at what happened in Chicago over the weekend. There's very little coverage of that, but there is coverage. You don't have the governor there. You don't have the public information officer. But well, listen, we got to take our break here for the bottom. When we get back, we'll continue on this. But no, we'll finish this up when we get back from the break. It's the Steve Kane Show. Okay. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Back after this. Well, listen, we got to take our break here for the bottom. When we get back, we'll continue on this. But no, we'll finish this up when we get back from the break. It's the Steve Kane Show.
We'll take some calls on this if we can.
Okay. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Back after this.
Bringing the heat to your radio every morning. It's the Steve Kane Show on Oldies 95.3 and 96.9. Follow Oldies 95.3 and 96.9 on social media. See what's happening in the community. Have a laugh with some fun.
Hey, Kathy, I just sent you a couple texts. Can you text me back?
Facebook and Instagram at Oldies South Florida.
That's my wife, Kathy, I'm talking to.
Here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
For the WPBS 25 First Warning Weather Center, this is meteorologist Brooke Silvering. We're going to see temperatures once again in the upper 80s, but keep your umbrella around. A few passing showers rolling in from the Atlantic. Possible as we go throughout your afternoon hours for today, even into the evening, we could have a few lingering showers.
True Oldies. Traffic check.
Traffic in the Palm Beaches is moving well at this time on 95 and the Turnpike. No accidents or delays. We do have a disabled vehicle blocking the right shoulder on I-95 heading southbound just before Boynton Beach Boulevard. A crash in Delray Beach on Atlantic Avenue at 441. And we have another crash in Boca Raton on Glades Road eastbound approaching 95. This report is sponsored by KFC. The Jack Harlow meal from KFC is here. It comes with a spicy chicken sandwich, a side of mac and cheese, KFC secret recipe fries, ranch, and an ice cold lemonade. That's finger licking good. Order your Jack Harlow meal today on the KFC app. Price and participation may vary. Tax and substitutions extra. That's traffic on Chris Barr.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
You've seen the ads on TV, and you've heard your friends tell you about MyPillow. MyPillow is guaranteed the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. Right now at MyPillow.com, when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, buy one MyPillow, get one for free. But you have to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com for this incredible offer. Buy one MyPillow, get another one free. Go to MyPillow.com right now. Use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is what? Uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood by the Coral Square Mall. Give them a call, 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. They will test for both environmental and food allergies. No appointment is necessary. And make sure you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
This is Steve Kane. We are here this morning with William Youngerman from William Youngerman, Inc. for our gold report. William, how are you? Welcome to the show. Wanted to ask you the big question, the big one that everyone wants to know. With gold, when's a good time to buy, and when do you sell?
Okay, that's and the question. The answer to the question, when do you sell, is really goes back to why did you buy it in the first place? When the reason you bought it is fulfilled, it's time to sell. Or when the reason that you bought it no longer exists, it's time to sell. In 1980, gold hit a high of $850, and people had bought gold all the way up to that level. And at that time, the reason to own gold changed dramatically because we had 25% interest rates all of a sudden. The government said we will stop inflation no matter what, and they did so with very high interest rates. That reason for owning gold then changed, and we dramatically told our customers in 1980, sell your gold, sell. It's finished for the time being, okay? That was a reason. Now, some people held on because they said, no, I want this as my insurance policy. Insurance policy, you don't necessarily buy and sell your life insurance policies. You have it for a particular reason. And some of your money should always be in gold, regardless of what the price is doing. Historically, we've always said at least 5%. At this particular time, we recommend much higher percentage of our assets being gold, silver, and platinum. So the reason for buying it will determine when to sell it. If that reason changes or is fulfilled, that's the time to sell it. But it must go along with the fact that you understand that gold is the only real money in the world. It is the only thing that has no IOUs or attached to it. It is an insurance policy, and it is a hedge against inflation, and it's the only real money that will maintain its buying power for you in the long term.
Okay, well that answers that question. If the question becomes where, well, I can tell you where. William Youngerman, Inc., located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. You can drop by. It's in the Bank of America building, right on the first floor, opposite the Bank of America. You can call William at 1-800-327-5010 or go to the website at williamyoungerman.com.
Get it off your chest.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, here with Steve Kane. You with us, Steve? Yeah, so, oh, by the way, you notice the police-involved shooting from the day before disappeared. That's gone now. Remember the one with the 60 shots we were talking about yesterday? Yes. I haven't even seen a single mention of that one today.
There's more than the news can handle. That's why. It's just there's too much going on. They can't do it all.
Yeah. Well, there's also a thing with the holiday. The regular news media are off. This thing I noticed, this was very strange. I watched all day long this incident in Highland Park yesterday. I think a lot of people did. It was a holiday, so what better way than to watch the news? And I watched it mostly on Fox. And what I noticed about it was Jeffrey Toobin was there in person. Fox flew Jeffrey Toobin all the way there to cover this. I don't know where they flew him in from, but Jeffrey Toobin's one of the regular national Fox News reporters. He's not based in Chicago, and he was not coincidentally in the Chicago area. They flew him out there on a dime. Like 2 hours after the incident, Jeffrey Toobin was on the spot reporting live on the streets of Highland Park. In this biased media coverage I expect from CNN and MSNBC, but I don't expect it from Fox and Newsmax and our friends, And what they do is they buy into the gun grab narrative, as opposed to talking about what's really going on here and not even covering what happened in Chicago over the weekend while they're covering this. I think the reason they don't cover Chicago and they cover this is because the shooter in Highland Park is white and they can make a thing out of it to fit the narrative. Why else would they? Why is that shocking and newsworthy, but what happened in Chicago isn't. Can you think of any other reasons, Steve? No. And well, that's the way it is. That is the way it is. All right, our number toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. Kamala Harris did this very bizarre sit-down interview. Did you see any of this? Well, it was in Louisiana, and they had a sign behind her on the stage, and they misspelled Louisiana, and nobody pointed that out, but no one noticed it. I noticed it with a lot of other people that have it on Twitter, but she, of course, was talking about abortion, right? And so here's Kamala Harris yesterday. Listen.
What essentially has happened is the statement has been made that the government has a right to come in your home and tell you as a woman and as a family what you should do with your body.
Oh my gosh.
And the point has to be this. We have to recognize we're a nation that was founded on certain principles that are grounded in the concept of freedom and liberty. We also know that we've had a history in this country of government trying to claim ownership over human bodies.
Exactly. Yes, that is right.
And we had supposedly evolved from that time and that way of thinking. So this is very problematic on so many levels.
Okay, so women now, because of Roe v. Wade, are slaves. It's very interesting when you see these things play out. This thing with Kamala Harris was over the weekend. And one thing I've noticed about all these stories Rush used to talk about how the Democrats have that old Democrat playbook and they run the same plays all the time. And I've just noticed in the last year, those old plays aren't working anymore like they used to. They used to be a lot more effective than they are now. People aren't buying it, and people are tired of them. A lot of it has to do with the out-of-control inflation and gas prices and things like that. I mean, there's no getting around that. But
technology.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's not just abortion. If you look at every issue that's out there, that old playbook, those plays aren't working anymore. Like this thing with gun control that they're going to try to pull this way. They're going to try this thing with the January 6th hearing. This is really the first time where Democrats have lost almost 100% complete control of the narrative. And the frustration that the Democrats are having with Trump and with MAGA is, yeah, sure.
Or it still doesn't have proper defenses.
Well, no, they've lost. Okay, well, let me give out the number. It's 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey. Absolutely.
A lot to get up and go and do these things after a big holiday. I just wanted to chime in on why we're winning the narrative, and you're starting to see their playbook fall apart, and it's because our messaging is so much better, and we're reaching more of the younger crowd. So the older crowd, Steve's age and down to about 55, I'd say, they're stuck in their ways. You can't really teach an old dog new tricks. They're used to reading the newspaper, and they're used to being on the news stations and listening to the pundits and getting all the advice from the news, from the actual news producers. But the content that we get from the internet, and not only the internet, but it's other people like Gutfield and Fox, certain people of the aspect of Fox have broken through and then been able to express.
Well, what's happened here? It started with Trump when Trump was the first. Trump was the first time a Republican controlled the news narrative, where the media and the other side were responding to Trump, not the other way around. Like when Newt Gingrich was Speaker, he was always apologizing, But what's happened, what I'm seeing lately in the last few months, is the Democrats, and you see this in the media, have a lot of frustration because they can't get their narratives going. Like this January 6th committee hearing is a ratings disaster. They did this stunt last week with Hutchinson. It backfired on them, and people aren't supporting it. This shooting that happened in Uvalde, they brought Matthew McConaughey to the White House. They got something passed, but they didn't win over public opinion on their side. Usually because they command the media. Well, they're That's right.
At least people would have a weekend to forget about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How they all of a sudden there's a surprise witness right before the 4th of July. Like, this isn't an October surprise. You're not going to pull that stuff like you tried with 2020 this time, you know?
Well, and they have, what's going on here is the Democrats and the media are run by a bunch of old school traditionalists that don't understand the new media. And the frustration is, no matter what the issue is, they're not able to get their narrative going. They were trying to get a gun control narrative together very strong after Uvalde, and they didn't. They got some meaningless thing passed. They're going to try to do it with this. They're going to try to sell us all day today that this kid was a Trump supporter. Nothing could be further from the truth than that. He's Antifa. That's not going to hold up. And the Democrats can only win when they can control the narrative, and they no longer can. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, gentlemen. Chris from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. How are you doing? Yes, sir. Oh, good, good. Nice weekend. Got to relax a little. Yeah, really. You're right on the money. I call it the broken record. I've been calling you, for decades.
They want you to focus on just the last, the current election cycle, or, it's like marketing, the manipulation, I used to call it. And
it's not like, hold on, Chris. It's not like marketing. It is marketing.
Exactly. We study under some of the greatest minds. Like, you remember the Pet Rock? This guy mentioned, it's back in the 70s. It says,
yeah, I remember the Pet Rock, yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that's what they've been saying. Hey, listen, we got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. Our number toll free 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. After the break, we'll come back with William Youngerman and the Gold Report and more of your calls. Back after this.
They're the most polarizing talk show hosts in all of South Florida. The Steve Kane Show with Brian.
Men, do you suffer from ED? If so, it can be very frustrating, not just for you, but your partner too. Dr. Mitch Matez at the Biostation West Delray can help. Call for a free consultation, 561-320-8893. Call now and get your erection back on demand. Ladies, you can make an appointment for your man too. 561-320-8893. 561-320-8893.
All
You do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness?
He was supposed
pain,
to go to Maine, he
burning,
didn't.
or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness? Loss of balance? Muscle
Hey, I'm ready, Rich.
Not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, back from the holiday. How are the metals looking?
Metals looking, playing around those support levels of $1,800 on gold. We did get down to $1,795 so far this morning. However, gold's still outperforming just about every other financial instrument, bonds, stocks, everything. The stock market at having the worst 6 months start of a year since 1970. The U.S. dollar very strong, and in light of that, in fact, the euro is at a 20-year low against the U.S. dollar, which should show some pretty good support for gold in light of the fact that there's just no other place to hide right now. Gold down $7.20 this morning at $1,800.30 the ounce. As I said, we did get down to as low as $17.95 so far this overnight. Silver down 22 cents at $19.76 the ounce. Platinum down $20 at $867. And palladium down $20 at $1,837. Oil hanging around over $108 a barrel. And as I said, the U.S. dollar index up to over 106, which is
Oh, yeah.
highest we've seen in quite a while. Metals doing very well in light of the fact that the dollar is extremely strong, which is also going to do damage to our economy, figuring that everything that we're shipping out of this country is costing the rest of the world much, much more money, which is going to put some real strain on our exports.
Yeah, that's right. And William Youngerman open today at 10, back from the 4th of July weekend. So you can give them a call at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or just stop right in. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
Grab your coffee. With Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane here. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John Okobiaka.
No, John.
I listened to a recording of LJ and a Jagger on.
You're gonna have to call back. You're gonna have to call back, John. You got a very bad connection. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Way down.
Yes, I know. I'm just going to start answering the phone instead of Steve Kane Show. Tech support. All right, appreciate it, Mike. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. Well, that was a run of some of the best calls we've had in months, Steve. Oh, my goodness. Maybe we should stop taking calls today. Oh, my goodness. Yesterday, we had great calls, and today's calls are just, I'll try one more. Good morning, you're, few and far between. Good morning, you're on the radio. I know, see what I mean? I know, we know. Oh, my goodness. Well, like I said, at least they care, Steve. I think we'll have to dispense with the calls from the rest of the show. I just don't. If somebody would like to talk about the issues, that would be refreshing. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. But other than that, I think we're just going to go just the two of us, Steve. No, but of course, when all this happened yesterday and the liberals come out with their gun control rhetoric, another problem the Democrats have about the gun control rhetoric is the lockdowns and shutdowns they had. People are just not going to let the government have that kind of control. There are a lot of people who have really seen the Democrats in action the last couple years and have just totally changed their outlook. Like we were talking yesterday on the show, there were people that woke up one morning just a week and a half ago and were pro-choice. Roe v. Wade gets overturned. They see the reaction of the left, and what do? They're becoming more pro-life because they've seen how extreme the Democrats are when it comes to abortion. And with the lockdowns and shutdowns that went on a very long time in a lot of the country, not here in Florida, luckily, because we've got Ron DeSantis, but people are not going to be so willing to give up their rights. And there are people out there that I think 4 years ago, may have said, okay, maybe we should have some what do the liberals call them? Common sense gun control regulations. But now they see what the government did, and they're like, I don't trust the government. Because, you know, when they did the shutdowns, there was no legislation passed. They just did it through edict, whether they had the authority to do it or not. And you saw how slow they were to give people their rights and freedoms back once they took them away. And people have an understanding about that they didn't have before. And when they go and talk about whatever kind of restrictions they're talking about, like right now it's going to be gun control the next couple of days, people that used to buy it won't any longer. They just won't. All right, let's have another attempt. You're on the air.
Hello.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And actually on all these topics, and just something that I would suggest, hopefully I'm coming in clear, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're coming in clear. Yeah.
Loud and...
I wish some of the other callers weren't, but you're clear today. You're coming in loud and clear.
Well, hey, listen, so, you know, one thing that I want to highlight real quick is that, you know, our young people are the ones that are going to make the change, right? So, you know, it doesn't take many people to kind of formulate a few great ideas for our government to kind of base and sort of go off of. I think just an opinion, just an idea. Maybe Washington should rummage up some type of fund for young people from every single state, from high school. I'm talking about teenagers, high school students, maybe even middle school students. Educate them, prepare them, make an assignment, end of the year assignment, beginning of the year assignment, year. And bring them, maybe, I don't know, put a fund for $500,000, and from each and every state, ship students out to Washington, D.C., and have them vocalize their opinions on abortion. I mean, I'm talking about heavy topics that...
Why? Well, no, we don't need it. We don't need any of that. Give me a break. Why would you want school kids to voice their opinions on abortion? That doesn't seem like really appropriate.
A lot of students feel like they do not have a voice, that they...
Well, yeah, it's a funny thing. When you say students, you mean like high school kids and stuff? Or college kids? Oh, you're in high school. You're a high school student. What are... Okay, okay. Well, here's the thing. I used to be very interested in like what high school kids said, teen panels and everything else. Do you know when that was in my life? When I was a teenager. And now that I'm a grown-up, I realize they're kids, and the kids don't know what they're talking about. I have no interest in what teenagers have to say on the issues. And you know what? No one else does either. And anyone who puts together teen panels, not you, especially if they're a man, Steve knows what I'm talking about, they're creeps. Now, who cares what teenagers think? Their brains aren't even done growing. I don't care what college kids think, tell you the truth.
Okay. So in my opinion, I think that's crazy. Because when I was in high school, about 10, 12 years ago, we were all very much so. I mean, a lot of my peers were involved in what was going on in the media, abortion, our rights.
When you say involved, what does a high school student do to get involved? When you say involved, they can't vote. What do they do to get involved?
Knowledgeable about what they're teaching in school, the things that are available to students, the Democrat team. I mean.
Okay. Hey, listen. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Oh my goodness. Oh. I don't know. No, I don't know, Steve. I'm just not interested in what teenagers have to say. Are you interested in what teenagers have to say about the issues? Not really. No. And you know what? No. And the politicians certainly aren't. The politicians don't even really care about the voters. They just care about the donors. So why would they think about care what kids have to say? Well, no, listen. Here's the thing that's going on. When you look at someone like Joe Biden, and no one likes to question this stuff. You got to ask yourself, why is Joe Biden so passionate about abortion? And I mean, I can only speculate on it, but when I look at the lifestyle that he and his son live, that's the kind of lifestyle that guys live that want to have options available, and abortion is an option that people like that like to have available to them for obvious reasons. You really got, yeah, because when you're like Joe and Hunter, you find yourself in situations sometimes that you don't like to be in, and they want to always have that abortion back there as an alternative. I mean, that's what it looks like to me when I see somebody like that, so strongly passionate, who's a man, about abortion. But if you look at the people though that were marching when the Roe v. Wade decision was overturned, they've kind of disappeared now. That issue, it's an interesting thing. That issue has already evaporated. It's accepted. There's going to be test cases like this 10-year-old girl in Ohio, but it's been pretty much accepted. The decision is the decision, and it's over. And the Roe v. Wade protesters are gone already. I mean, it's something they thought it looked like they were going to have an issue, but they really don't.
It's a phony issue because the fact is, abortion is readily available to anybody. Really, if you don't care enough to get on a bus and sit and take a Greyhound ride to get your abortion, then maybe you should rethink it.
Greyhound might be a great deterrent to abortion. You ever been on Greyhound? Oh my goodness. I haven't been on one in a while, but it's not, you don't want to ride Greyhound. Amtrak's no better. It's not like Silver Streak, I promise you. But no, they thought they had an issue. In fact, we were talking about this. Some conservatives were saying, "Oh, I'm a little concerned about this overturning of Roe v. Wade because now the Democrats have an issue." That issue's gone already because they don't have popular support on it. This is a conservative country, and the majority of the population are conservative, even when it comes to abortion. And that's the way of it. And most of these restrictions that we're seeing come into effect around the country, there's different levels of restrictions, but most of them are not after 6 weeks is like, a big one. And I think most people figure, well, 6 weeks, that's enough time. If you haven't decided by then, you've waited too long. You're out of luck.
The other thing that, once again, my pet peeve is getting ignored, which is the adoption issue. Again, a great opportunity by pro-choice people, by pro-life people, to promote the most viable alternative. Nobody has to have and raise a baby that they don't want, because there are millions of people out there that want to adopt and can't because there are not newborns readily available. And it's people are the ones that are falling short of this, as they always do. You get a few people around the edges that, by the way, mention adoption, but there should be a major push going on for adoption now as an alternative to abortion.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, listen, we're winding down for today, but I'll tell you this: today, all you're going to get is, in every story, the shooter is a Trump guy. Don't believe it. Go on Twitter. You will see the pictures of him in the Antifa hat. Yeah. So, I mean, don't believe that. They have no photographs of him in MAGA gear or anything else. In fact, at the Trump rally, you see him with his friends that are holding Biden signs, okay? And that's the way of it. You don't go, but this is the narrative that they're pushing out there, so just get used to it, because that's going to be the next 24-hour news cycle. Well, if they were honest, they wouldn't be the fake news media, right? They'd be the real news media. Now, of course, the Steve Kane Show, we are now with you from 5 until 9, Monday through Friday. And you've noticed a little change in the sound of the show, which I think is sounding spectacular. I really do. You've still not yet heard the new rejoins yet, Steve, but when you do, you're going to love them. They're very awesome. And most of the callers today were So tomorrow, when we come back tomorrow, let's try to elevate the quality of the calls to the program. All right? I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane, of course, is here. We'll be back live with you tomorrow morning. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, some of you, for calling in. Most of you, We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. Get it right on the dot. Ugh. All All right, guys, my phone is about to go dead, so I'm going to sign off real quick. But everyone, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later, all right?